Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're here on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I and I'd like to welcome you into the fam. So all my beautiful babies of the zodiac, how are you doing and how are you feeling today? If you're feeling down, depressed or anxious and you could use a little fun pick-me-up, then this pick a card reading video is the perfect space for you to be in right now. This video is meant to be really fun, healing and intriguing, and it's going to be centered around your love life. Because in this pick a card tarot reading, we are going to be talking about all of the destined and fated important romantic relationships in your life. So whether these are romantic relationships that are yet to come, past relationships that you've learned, grown, and healed from, or mysterious love affairs that are meant to be part of your story, we will be discussing your entire love life from start to finish. In this pick a card tarot reading, we will also be looking into marriage, kids, and what type of commitment level that we've got in these relationships. So you can rest assured that we're going into all the nitty-gritty little details, and we'll be using letters, crystal runes, as well as numerology in order to help you figure out all the details that you could possibly crave. So how this love tarot reading works is that I have 4 different tarot decks and crystals paired with each other, which I will introduce you to momentarily. And I would like you to pick one of these 4 decks intuitively, so just go with whichever deck that you immediately felt drawn towards. And if your intuition is a little shaky or you're feeling insecure, feel free to use a random number generator, as these groups are numbered 1 through 4. And once you've picked the group that you feel resonates with you and your love story, you can scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section where I have pinned the timestamps for all 4 of these groups. So all you'll need to do is click your timestamp and you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant portion of this video. So before I introduce you to the 4 groups, I would like to announce the launch of my completely new crystal jewelry line and show you a few of these gorgeous pieces, as well as hook you up with an amazing discount code, of course. I am wearing a lot of these pieces, such as this rhodolite and citrine crystal bracelet, or this gorgeous Empress of the Sea Larimar crystal ring. Here we have the gorgeous Earth Angel Peridot crystal ring. All of these rings come in these beautiful velvet boxes, so you can store your rings and make sure that you keep them safe and that they don't get damaged on their way to you. We've also got new really gorgeous citrine crystal earrings, as well as rings, like this beautiful citrine ring, for example. And of course, other gorgeous crystal jewelry, such as these sky blue topaz earrings and necklaces. I'm not sure if you can see, but each one of these pieces is engraved on the inside. It says Bow Life, and all of these rings are super sparkly and cut to perfection. They're also stackable, as you can see here. These little simplicity rings are really great for stacking, but also just for day-to-day wear and accessorizing. And then we also, of course, have really sparkly big statement pieces, such as this blue and white topaz double heart ring. The links to all the pieces that I'm wearing throughout this video can be found below in the description box. And I also have a special code for the unicorn family for you to save $10 off each of these new jewelry styles. So no matter how many pieces that you order, each piece comes at a $10 discount to you. There is no limit to how large that discount ends up being. So if you, for example, purchase 5 pieces, you get $50 off your entire order. So the code and all the links are below in the description box. These are honestly the highest quality crystal jewelry pieces out there. I am so proud of these new crystal jewelry pieces. They are truly of the highest quality. I wanted only the best for the unicorn family, and that's exactly what this new crystal jewelry is. And if you're curious as to which jewelry is especially supportive for your sign, below in the description box you can figure out exactly what crystals work best with which sign. So that can make the decision a little easier when choosing a specific crystal for yourself. Don't forget to use the code in the description box, which is exclusive to this video. But now let's get into the 4 groups that I have prepared for your tarot predictions today. Group number 1 corresponds to the Modern Witch Tarot deck as well as the green Aventurine crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Pink Pain Tarot deck as well as the Citrine crystal. Group number 3 corresponds to the Tattoo Tarot deck as well as the Carnelian crystal. And group number 4 corresponds to the Tarot of Curious Creatures as well as the Lapis Lazuli crystal. As usual, the timestamps to all 4 groups can be found below in the description box. I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on the 4 groups, and I'll be back momentarily to guide you into your love readings. So by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups in order to receive your prediction about all of the destined, fated, important romantic relationships in your life. I'll be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Modern Witch Tarot deck as well as the Green Aventurine. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, all my beautiful souls of group number 1. You chose the Modern Witch Tarot deck as well as the Green Aventurine crystal. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is what it looks like. It is such a stunning stone. You may have chosen it because it's beautiful, but maybe because you intuitively knew that this was a very grounding, healing type of crystal that helps support you when you're going through some emotionally challenging situations. But I want to get into your reading so we can figure out everything about all of the destined and fated important romantic relationships in your life. So we'll start off with whatever we get from Spirit and your guides, whether that is a relationship that has already transpired or one that's still coming into your life. I'm taking my sweet time with you, group number 1, and I'm ensuring that we get all of the messages that your guides have for you in regards to your love life. First up, we've got the 7 of Cups. So I can intuitively see here that you've got a lot of options and choices. That is the vibe throughout your life, romantically speaking. Now, I hope you're aware of this, group number 1, how many options that you have, how desirable that you truly are, because the 7 of Cups definitely shows us here that there are a lot of people who are interested in you, and you get to do the picking. So ensure, group number 1, that you are not allowing for other people to just pick you, but you're also picking the people who you feel are the most attractive. Don't feel shy when it comes to that. Next up, we've got the Knight of Wands. So one of the people who you're going to pick or who picks you, we're still going to figure out the exact dynamic of this relationship, is the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is the Knight of fire, so to say, so a fire sign. Think an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, someone who is really passionate. And in a time of being able to pick whoever you want, for some reason, the Knight of Wands becomes important in your life, group number 1. And they are like riding in like a knight in shining armor. They're someone who is enthusiastic, they're very adventurous. They are of a similar age as you are, but they have a very bubbly and fun type of personality. The Queen of Wands shows me here that they are actually a mixture of the Knight as well as the Queen of Wands. They have that strong fire sign energy, but there's not so much masculinity that they're out of touch with their emotions. That's where I see in the Queen of Wands that this person who is a significant part of your love life kind of brings something to the table that shows balance, that shows maturity, and like they're not afraid to get in touch with their feminine side and with a side of themselves that others may try to hide. They are not afraid to speak about how they feel about you, so they will definitely also confess their feelings that they have to you, and they are very open-minded as an individual. I see here within sacrifices that during this stage of your life where this is an important romantic relationship which is destined and fated, you will have to make a lot of sacrifices to be with this person. But as we spoke about here in the Seven of Cups, it is your choice to make those sacrifices, group number one. No one is forcing you to, but for some reason you see something in this fire sign that makes you feel like this is the one. So fire sign energy within their sun sign is one thing, but we're going to look at some other placements too. I want to figure out some letters of their name, and maybe this will give us a good idea of who they are. Okay, let's see what we got. We've got the letter I, as well as an A. Okay, so these are important parts of their name and their initials, group number one. And for some reason, this AI person, this IA person makes you want to take sacrifices on board that you maybe wouldn't have made for other people. I want to figure out a little bit more details about this and when this is transpiring in your lifetime. We've got tell it like it is. So it's very important for you to be able to be outspoken and basically say how you feel. And I see that this fire sign is allowing you to do that. This person is letting you be yourself. They're letting you be authentic, and that's why you are okay with making sacrifices, even if that means that they are of a different type of background, or maybe some family or friends don't approve of them. You know that it is worth being with them because you can be yourself, and you can finally also talk about some trauma that you've been through maybe in your childhood that no one has ever taken seriously or allowed you to properly process, but they are here to listen and to support you. Next up, we've got connect with nature. So I see that another sacrifice that you're going to make when you're with this person is moving from a city or from a hustle and bustle type of lifestyle to a lifestyle where you're more connected with nature. You go on hikes together, you go on walks with each other, you maybe actually even live out in the nature. Think a tiny house out in the woods, almost like a little fairy tale situation. And you are okay with making the sacrifices of some comforts that you may have in a bigger or more connected place because you are more at peace. You feel like you can be yourself and speak up for yourself, and like no one is holding you back. That is one thing that I can see here for you, group number one. I want to figure out when this relationship is. I mean, with the whole living in nature situation, this is definitely not a childhood connection or some sort of teen infatuation where you're running away. This is a very mature type of adult connection. So this person is most likely going to be an important, significant part of your adult life. That is what I'm getting from your guides so far. We've got clouds, and now in the clouds I can see here that during a time where life is changing and shape-shifting is when this fire sign is coming into your life. So maybe you're just going through a job change, or you're going from studying and doing things academically to figuring out what you want to do professionally on a day-to-day basis. And I see here within Dawn that it's a new beginning in your life overall, as well as a new beginning romantically speaking when you're in this relationship or getting into this relationship. So everything is new, everything is fresh. Maybe even being with such a strong fire sign is something you've never experienced before. And I do see here that it's like you finally found the right person for yourself. Like you finally found someone who really vibes with you, who gets you, and who's on the same wavelength as you are. I want to figure out a little bit more about this connection and this relationship, group number one. Let's see what Spirit and your guides has to offer in form of additional information. So we've got Sagittarius energy. This makes a lot of sense with all the fire sign energy we were talking about. So the universe has clarified this for us, group number one. Your guides are here to tell you very clearly that this significant romantic connection is with a Sagittarius. This is with someone who is very expansive thinking. They always think big. They're honest. They're optimistic. In case you didn't know this, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of growth. also travel long distance. So this may start off as a long distance relationship, and either way, in this relationship, a lot of travel is going to be involved because they are rather restless. They're the type of person who loves to explore the world and who loves to see new things. And again, there's a reason why you're okay with making sacrifices for this person, probably because of all of the amazing experiences that you're able to gain and have in your life thanks to them. Next up, we've got the 6th house. They may also have Sagittarius in their 6th house. Now, your 6th house is the house that speaks of your daily routine, sustainability. So leading a sustainable life with this person is what I see. But I also want you to know here with the 6th house that it's about analyzing the world. And I see a very deep spiritual and emotional connection with this person. So this is a very spiritual partner that you're going to be with in your life. This is someone who gets you on a soulmate type of level. This is like a twin flame that I'm getting here for you, group number 1. This is the type of relationship and connection where you don't even need to speak. You just know that it's right, and it's very mature and deep, and you're concerned with the planet, with sustainability. You both want to lead a life that's as sustainable as possible, and you don't care about materialism. You care about experiences and connecting with nature. I see here in Coily that you want to remain rooted. You both want to remain rooted not only in truth, but also in a space that feels natural and authentic. So you're both going through some life changes. Maybe you've gone from being a bit more conventional to unconventional, and you're meeting this person at the perfect time where they're kind of going through the same thing, and it just works out. You two just get each other. So maybe you're both environmentalists, or you eat a plant-based diet, or you're really into the shamanic cultures and you want to travel the world trying different plant medicines together. There are so many things that you are experiencing and exploring with this individual, with this destined romantic relationship that is in your life. Now, you may have already had this relationship, group number 1, or maybe it is yet to come. I do want to add more information so you can figure out if this person still lies ahead on your romantic journey or whether you have already experienced it. So let's see what we've got here from the Oracle and the Divine. We've got being open to receiving. This is the type of person who is a giver, and when two givers are together, it is a really beautiful, selfless situation. So despite them being a little out there and sometimes a little grandiose, if you will, like we have here with their Sagittarius energy, they are very much open to giving and also receiving, and they love to give to you, whether that be time, energy, attention, material things. They love making things by hand for you. And I see here within the perfect moments that you're experiencing so many beautiful moments that just feel like you never want them to end. And moments are fleeting, but you and this person are just enjoying it to the fullest. This is a relationship where you're really living in the moment. It seems like materialism and money is really taking the back seat, and you're just feeling each other. You're just connecting on a way deeper level than you've ever connected with anyone in the past. So it's really beautiful to see, and it's going to be a very eye-opening type of relationship in your life. I see here within grounding yourself that connecting with nature continuously comes up in this relationship. So being in nature, that's an important part of this romantic connection that is meant to be in your life, or that's still coming into your life, group number 1. And again, traveling the world, seeing a lot of nature together, being unafraid to be in nature with each other because you don't need anything else. You've got each other and you've got the beautiful energies of the earth. You're also in sync with the moon and your cycles. This person allows you to naturally experience experience your reproductive cycles as well, whether you identify as female or male. We all go through ups and downs, especially if you do identify as female and you have reoccurring cycles. Syncing those with the moon, being with a partner who understands it, who gets it, that is really worth its weight in gold, so to say, group number one. And that is the type of relationship that I see that you're fated to have here with this person. Next up, we've got flowing like water. Think of being at the beach, being in ponds and rivers together, skinny dipping with each other, having these magical experiences where not only do things flow vibrationally and energetically, but they also flow in the sense of you feeling as though water is an important part of connecting with each other, and making out in water, having that be a very romantic experience is what I see here. I also have some dice for you, group number one. I want to figure out a little bit about the numerology of it all. So let's kind of see during what ballpark of your life that this is meant to take place, or how long it is supposed to last for. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Okay, some interesting numbers here. We've got 27 as well as 6. So I definitely see here that when it comes to age, we've got 27, 26 kind of situation, anywhere between the age of 20, 26, and 27. I also do want you to know here that this relationship may last either 20 years, we may have 7 years, or 6 years. There are pivotal points in every relationship where it's either make or break, and I can definitely see here that this is a connection that is meant to last for longer than just a couple months, right? So we're definitely dealing with years. So the 6th and the 7th year is challenging, as well as the 20th. But if you overcome those hurdles, the relationship is destined to last. But those are kind of the important moments where you either remain in the relationship or you step out of it with this person. And I definitely see that this is a relationship that establishes earlier in your life, as we do also have the number 20, which gives us a ballpark as to how long this relationship can thrive and survive, and kind of shows us that it's starting off at an earlier point in your life, because it's like you're growing up with one another. So this is one of the destined, fated, important romantic relationships in your life, group number one. I want to now clear the space for you and then figure out what other relationships that we're getting that are destined and important, that are meant to be a part of your life, that can add on to what we know here, and that can give you a little bit of an outlook as to what is still out there, what is possible, who you can choose to be with. Because you don't have to be in this relationship, but this is one of those important relationships that can play out in this way if you let yourself simply enjoy it and experience it. So this is one option for you, but we'll talk more about your love life once I have cleared the space. If you've made it already to this part of your prediction, make sure you leave a little rainbow emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you not only chose group number one, but you're excited to figure out what other romantic relationships are fated to be part of your life at some point in time. Okay, group number one, how are you feeling? How are you doing? I hope that you're excited to get into the next fated romantic relationship that's meant to be in your life. Should there be another one, maybe we only have one connection for you, but let's allow for your guides and for Spirit to tell us exactly what else is up with your romantic connections throughout your lifetime. So first up, we've got the Ace of Swords. Now the Ace of Swords, oh, okay, we also have the Emperor. So I do see here that you've got this completely new way of thinking that comes into your life when you step into your personal power. So feeling very empowered about love and also what you can expect and quote unquote demand, group number one, not settling for less. That's the type of mindset that I see here within the Emperor as well as the Ace of Swords. The Emperor is a card of strength, of leadership, and of course being unafraid and authentic. Whereas in the Ace of Swords, we've got Ace, which is a new beginning, right? Which shows that there is a fresh start mentally, as the swords corresponds to everything that happens with you psychologically speaking. So I do see that there is a new era here for you, and we have yet to figure out whether you're embarking on this journey alone, and there's really only one big fated significant relationship that's meant to be in your life, and that's the one we already discussed, or whether there is more. Let's see what your guides have to say, group number one. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles. There is another relationship here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, which corresponds to earth signs, as the suit of Pentacles is just that. So think Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. They're very grounded, practical, dependable type of signs, and they are the types that will be there for you. And I see here in connectivity to the Emperor that it makes a lot of sense as to why this relationship would flourish when you're stepping up when it comes to your career and your professional life as well, because they kind of get it. They're on the same wavelength, and they too want to lead a life that is comfortable. Now, that doesn't mean that money and finances is everything or status is the most important thing, but you understand that it allows you, it permits you certain freedom in life. Furthermore, the Emperor astrologically corresponds to Aries, and again, it speaks of leadership and logic, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's very outgoing, also in a sense very self-centered and pioneering. Being ruled by Mars means that there is some aggressiveness and assertiveness here, taking the initiative. So I see that the Queen of Pentacles is that type of person for you, a very assertive type of earth sign who takes the initiative, but also likes when you do the same. So it's like you're hyping each other up to do the best that you can when it comes to the earthly realms in your professional life. So this is a relationship that's in your lifetime while you're working, while you're in a place where you're figuring out what you want to do professionally, or you're really putting your head down and you're like, okay, now I got to be mature and I got to kind of come back to the real world and create stability for my future. Maybe you're even thinking of retirement and things like that. I see here within the Judgment card for you, group number one, that we've got a card which corresponds to Pluto. This is a card of forgiveness and also kind of resurrecting a part of yourself that was lost. So maybe that first relationship that we spoke about, group number one, is one that happens and is beautiful and is free and spiritual, but you're settling down with someone who's a little bit more serious here in the Queen of Pentacles or the Emperor, should you want to, right? Because that first relationship, according to the numbers, it was very optional whether you stayed in that or not. It really depends on what you want, what the climate is in your life at those given times of the relationship. But I see here within the Judgment card that you're completely happy with how your relationships went prior to this, and you kind of understand that sometimes your values can change, and it's okay to change partners based on that. Next up, we've got the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords shows me here that this relationship is definitely going to challenge you mentally and stimulate you in a way that you no longer feel like the more mature one or the smartest one in the relationship. You feel like this person does bring a lot to the table on an intellectual level, on a level that goes beyond looks or just being kind and caring. We have a few cards here that popped out, so I'll take the smaller pile for you, group number one, so we can see exactly what Spirit has to say. We've also got the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands shows me here that there is this boldness, this originality that comes with this relationship. You're both very bold. You both have the audacity to ask for more. When it comes to your professional life, you both have the audacity to ask for a raise, to create a life that you want that has financial stability. And I see here within the Five of Wands that it's almost like a competition that you two are experiencing in the workforce. So this is really a type of relationship where you're working. Your primary goal is maybe to create assets that can give you more freedom in the long run. So for example, purchasing property and renting it out so you have some sort of passive income, but also maybe purchasing your own property so you don't have to rely on renting or on someone else's mercy when it comes to fixing things and making life comfortable for you. So this is a relationship where the values are completely different than the first one we spoke about, the first fated relationship in your life. And one isn't better than the other, group number one. It just really depends what stage you're at in life and what's more important to you. Sometimes you may want to be in a more free-spirited relationship because it just really works with where you are on your personal journey at that given point in time. But sometimes you may also want to be in a relationship that brings you stability. If you're, for example, thinking of starting a family, or you're thinking of what you're going to do in old age, then of course stability is really worth settling with someone who has the exact same idea of what that would look like, because it just gives you peace of mind. I see here within the Milky Way that this is a relationship that gives you a different perspective on life. It gives you a different perspective on what you want to do and where to go. And there's kind of this delayed gratification that is important in this relationship. There's a lot of patience. There's a lot of maturity. There are two people working towards the same goals here, and a lot of forgiveness for mistakes, and also maybe relationships that didn't let you properly save in the past. So maybe you were in relationships where you were not encouraged to put your professional life first, or where money didn't matter, just like the first one we spoke about, group number one. But I see here that you're kind of moving forward from that, and you're in a place where you understand that it doesn't have to all be about finances, but it does provide some freedom. I see here within dream time that this is a relationship where you are actively creating. You're actively creating and building and constructing things that you can see and touch and feel that can make your life a little bit easier. So think building a home. That's what I see here within dream time, building your dream home with this person. Also maybe building a space where you live, where you can simply just relax and also indulge in your creative endeavors. I definitely see a relationship here where there is a lot of affluence and financial stability to be able to even have the privilege to create, maybe creating a new life like your own family. That's one thing that I can see here from Spirit and your guide. So I want to add on to these tarot and oracle cards by kind of figuring out what this person's initials are, so we can see a little bit more information. So let's see what Spirit has for you. Group number one, we've got A as well as C. So see this as a little piece of guidance when you're wondering who this person is, what their name is, what their initials may be. That's one thing that I can see here with this person. We've got A and C. I want to move a little further into this connection and delve into more of the dynamic, when it's maybe taking place within your life, what's going on with this connection on other levels. We've got the Three of Cups. So you love to party and go out and go on romantic dates with this person. You like to go to nice places, and you also have mutual friends and family with whom you love to spend time with. The Three of Cups shows me that this is a relationship that allows you to be really social, to have a good time, and to go out and have fun. The Three of Cups, it does also show here that celebrating together is part of this. So think an engagement or a marriage, for example, as I see here within Dreamtime and the Three of Cups, that you both kind of have this vision of a joint future and all of the bells and whistles, such as a a big wedding, an engagement, parties, celebrating vow renewals. I see here within the Three of Wands that you're kind of leaving behind some of the compromises that you made in the past because you understand you only have one life to live. And especially romantically speaking, when you continue to compromise, that actually can chisel away at the respect that romantic partners have for you, because they can feel that you're compromising yourself and your worth and the things that were important to you just to make space for them. And when you lose people's respect, they can start to treat you differently or do things that they never said that they would. And I see here in the Three of Wands that something clicked in past relationships that made you understand that you have to keep your standards high and you have to make sure that you expect of a partner as much as you would give, that reciprocity is super important and mutual respect. I see here within the star that this relationship is that one. It is that hopeful relationship, the healthy type, where you're not just doing fun things together, but you're also kind of firmly rooted in society in a way that doesn't shrink you or make you feel like you can't be yourself. But at the same time, if you want a family and children, you know that even though you may be okay with living off grid or living a very eccentric kind of alternative lifestyle, if you want the best for your children's future, you do have to, in a sense, conform to some societal norms at least. And that's one thing that I see that this relationship allows you to do, and this relationship kind of lets you unfold without questioning or saying you're a hypocrite or saying that you've changed. You understand that there is a time and place to be alternative, but there's also a time and place to kind of play the game. Next up, we've got the Judgment card. So we've got the Judgment card twice for you, group number one, within this part of your tarot prediction that's all about the destined important romantic relationships in your life. And the Judgment card corresponds to the number 20, in case you didn't know. As already mentioned, it does connect to the planet Pluto, and Pluto is actually the planet of finances, of shared resources, and also of the afterlife. So this is a connection, a soulmate connection, a healthy one, not a twin flame that can be a crazy connection, not a stressful one. This is a connection and a relationship in your life of financial stability and shared resources, of sharing everything that you have, but also being smart together, right? Planning for the future together, ensuring that you're setting yourselves up for success and for a financially intelligent and sane future, and even for retirement, because you understand you can't start to plan your retirement when you're 40, 50, 60 years old. I mean, you can, but it's very risky. So I definitely see here thinking about how you can limit risks financially and limit stressors in your life. You have both been in a place in your life where you now want peace, you want support, you want grounded, chill type of energy. That's this relationship, this significant romantic relationship that I see that's fated to be in your life, group number one. Next up, we've got the King of Pentacles. You already had the Queen of Pentacles within your reading, group number one, and the King of Pentacles just kind of reiterates that you're growing together, you're growing your financial IQ with one another, and you're doing business together. I can see here that this is a relationship where there is entrepreneurship, there is a very business-minded kind of spirit, and also a spirit of understanding one another, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and actually being teammates when it comes to your professional life. Next up, the Four of Pentacles shows me saving, financial intelligence. Again, you and this person, you understand that just because you've got a good income together or you're making good money with one another, that doesn't mean that you're going to spend it on, say, designer clothes or just things that don't really matter, you know, luxury vacations that could actually be done more cheaply, more affordably. You're not doing that. You're not flexing for the gram or putting yourself into uncomfortable financial situations just to impress other people who you actually don't really care about and who maybe don't care about you. You are all about saving, you are all about investing and creating a future that is stable, stability. That's what I see in this relationship. You're not about to put yourself in a position where there is any type of discomfort just in order to look a certain way to the outside world. You're both too mature and too grown for this, and it's just not in the cards. I see here within energy healing that you both are very natural energy healing type of people. You've got these abilities to just kind of like create a very chill environment, whether it be with each other or when you're with friends or family. So it makes sense why you'll also be hosting a lot of parties with this person, say in your home that you own with one another with your shared resources. You're hosting really fun dinner parties and get-togethers. I see here within talking to your angels that you also kind of connect with this person on a more divine level, group number one. This significant relationship that's fated to be in your life at some point is one where you share the same type of fate. So whether you're religious or you're spiritual or you're an atheist, I mean, whatever it is that you believe in, I see that you're on the same wavelength with this person. Furthermore, there's also going to be counseling, probably already premarital counseling before you even get engaged, just understanding the significance and importance of working on your relationship early on and not waiting till counseling is necessary, but kind of being proactive about it. I see that you're both really open to this and you understand that it's actually just going to help with the longevity of this relationship and this connection. And I do also see here within letting go that you're going to have to walk away from certain things, and this relationship will kind of teach you to pick and choose your battles wisely, and it will kind of put things into perspective and remind you what battles are worth fighting and how you can compromise with someone who you love without feeling like you've lost or without the ego being bruised. And I do see here within oracle cards that they are an oracle or tarot reading enthusiast too. They love to work with oracle cards with you and in the relationship. They love to use it in order to reflect and find guidance, and that is just like a shared kind of interest and hobby that I see here with you and this person. I want to add some numbers into your reading too, group number one. So let's see what we've got. We've got 3. So within 3, one thing that I can see here is that this person is coming to you during a year where the number 3 is really important. So think you, for example, being 23, 33, 43 years old, maybe the year 2023. I also do want to figure out how long it will take them to kind of get serious about you, to propose to you, to pop a question. So we've got 3 as well as 10. So we've got between, oh, okay, we've also got the number 9. So one thing that I can see here is that it's probably going to lead to commitment pretty quickly with this person. So within the number 3, I can see here that 3 is a significant number. So after the 3rd date, they know that you're the one. They may not tell you this, but they know that they want to be with you long term and maybe even marry you, have a family with you. That's one thing that I can see here. I also see here within 9 and 10 that after 9 or 10 weeks or months, there will be that solidification. Okay, so maybe getting married, the proposal, just overall taking a little bit of time to think it through, but they actually know after seeing you like 3 times, after spending a little bit of time with you, that you are the one to them. That is one thing that I can see within this relationship. Another thing that I do also want to figure out is the number of children. We had 3 quite a couple times, but I do just want to like get real clarification if kids are in the cards, what type of number we're working with. So we've got 2 for you, group number 1. There we go. Let me zoom in for you. 2 children with this person. that you're destined to have in your life romantically with this fated, important relationship. So, group number 1. I hope that you enjoyed this part of your reading. I will now clear the space for you and figure out if there are any other relationships that you need to know of that are destined to be part of your life at some point in time. Maybe it's a past one, maybe it is an affair, maybe it's another longer relationship. It's not unusual for people to have multiple long-term relationships within their life. So if this is a good time for you to grab a snack or a drink, or even to just lean back and continue enjoying your personal messages, do so. I'll clear the space and I'll be right back with you. Okay, group number 1, welcome back. Let's move further into your reading to figure out more about all of the destined and fated, important romantic relationships in your life and throughout your existence within this temporal plane. Oh, and by the way, group number 1, I'm not sure if you knew, but I do have a How to Become a Great Tarot Reader course. The link is below in the description box in case you're interested in learning how to read tarot. I've got dozens and dozens of modules within the curriculum that you can move through, and it has all 5-star reviews, so I know that you guys really love it. So I highly recommend that if you're thinking to learn tarot, but you're not quite sure where to start. So, next up, we've got Love Endures. So in Love Endures, I can see here that you're meant to go through some dry spells when it comes to love. Maybe you've already been through these dry spells, group number 1. Love doesn't give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So I see that no matter how dire the heartbreak may have been, or for how long at a time you may have been single in the past, you don't give up, and your love is strong, your love is enduring and caring and also hopeful, and that is a really excellent trait to have, especially with something such as love that you can't control because it involves another party, and you want to ensure that your love life is actually healthy and actually reflects a time in your life that you're happy of, that you feel proud of. Next up, we've got honesty is essential. So I can see here that when it comes to your fated romantic relationships, this is a really important part. This is a non-negotiable for you. Honesty in your romantic relationships. You want someone to speak with love and truth. When it comes to telling small or large lies, you are very unforgiving when it comes to that, and rightfully so, group number 1. Keep your standards, because honesty truly is essential. Without honesty, you don't have anything, especially in a romantic relationship, and it's not too much for you to ask for someone to simply be honest and not tell any lies whatsoever. And in connectivity to Love Endures, I can see that there are a lot of relationships that you could have had, but you're never going to get into those relationships in this lifetime because that person or those people are just not honest. They just would not be able to give you what it is that you desire. So I see a lot of respect for yourself here, which is really beautiful to see. Next up, we've got spiritual connection. So I can see here that you are meant to have a relationship in this lifetime that has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime and maybe is even from past lives as well. So being with a partner where you have this instant connection and it feels as though you've known them for a long time. It feels as though you've known them in a past life and you've been together in a past life, and you're only now just finding one another during this day and age, during the age of Aquarius. I see here within the spiritual connection that that is an important feature and highlight in your romantic life that you're definitely not going to compromise on, rightfully so, group number 1. I can see that romantically speaking, you're really strong. I love how you stand your ground, and I love how we've looked into 2 more longer term relationships that have grown you a lot, that will teach you a lot, that will aid you in many different ways when it comes to figuring out more about yourself and love, and that you won't look back on with any regret. It was like a learning lesson. So I don't see a lot of very shallow types of relationships for you, group number 1, throughout your lifetime. the most impactful ones are definitely the lengthier ones, not the quick ones that are filled with infatuation. I actually haven't gotten any of those so far. I see here within the Eight of Cups that the thing is that you don't like to have a lot of options and to be juggling a lot of options at the same time. So you don't really love to entertain a lot of people at once. You don't like to put people in predicaments where they're almost like pent up against one another and competing for your love, group number one. That's one thing that I see here in the Eight of Cups, as well as honesty being essential. While you may have a lot of options, once you really like someone, you kind of cut the other options off, you ghost them, and you focus on just that one option that really suits you. So it's not that you're not happy for the many options that you have, but once you know what you want, that's what you go for and that's what you focus on. I see here within the Six of Cups that family life is also very important spiritually. The Six of Cups is a card of family, potentially also children. Do know here within the Six of Cups that we have a card in the tarot that shows a victorious future when it comes to building your own family if you're interested in that, group number one. And I do want you to know here in connectivity to your spiritual connection that you are going to raise any potential children in a sense of being very open-minded and understanding that they too should wait for special connections rather than sharing themselves energetically with a lot of random people. Those are values that you want to instill in offspring. Next up, in the Five of Cups, one thing that I can see here when it comes to significant and fated relationships, romantic ones in your life, is that when there's competition, that's a big no for you. You're not competing with anyone. You're not tolerating that. If someone makes you feel as though you have to be in competition with other people for their attention, that is an instant turn off. You're not even interested in the connection or the relationship. If that happens, you know that that person is just not for you, and you turn away, you look elsewhere, you go to a different place because you know your worth and your value, and you know you don't need to be pent up against anyone else when it comes to being in a relationship. Next up, we've got the North Node. Now, the North Node shows me here that moving forward, your future is filled with this kind of notion of as soon as there's competition, it's not for you, and you understand that there's no point in competing with anyone, so you don't see a future in that, hence why you nip it in the bud immediately. Because I see here in the second house that what's more important for you is your resources, it's your job, it's your professional standpoint. It is making sure that you're financially literate and stable, that you're building a legacy and possibly generational wealth here with the Six of Cups as well. And that's what you're really focused on in the future. You're not interested in any type of drama or pettiness in relationships. So as soon as you sense that, it's a no. Hence why we don't have many affairs that have popped up for you either. We don't have significant childhood or teenage loves that have changed your path in any way. Group number one, you're definitely steady in where you're going. There are two polar opposite relationships that we've already discussed for you that teach you valuable lessons, but aside from that, we're not really getting anything else that points us towards a very specific type of extra relationship that will impact your life significantly. Next up, we've got Leo as well as Venus. So I do see here within Leo that you understand that the best thing you can really do is just shine where you are and to kind of embrace the relationships that you do have, even if they're few. You are all about quality over quantity, because here within Venus, I can see that you really want to experience your partner in a really sensual type of way. And in order to get sensual and intimate and deep with someone, you have to feel like you know them. And the only way how that's even possible, of course, is by taking time to build that connection, to share affection, and to be attracted to the person who you're with. So I definitely see here within Venus that you've got a lot of values in areas that have to do with beauty, that have to do with being intimate, with seduction. All of those things really turn you on and are very important in a relationship. I see here within beauty sleep that when it comes to your romantic relationships, one thing that you just cannot give up is, of course, your beauty sleep and restful sleep. So you may actually end up having your own little guest bedroom or your own little area where you can sleep if you feel as though your partner is rolling around too much every night or snoring, or you just simply sleep better by yourself and it's not gonna hurt the relationship in any way. There is this mutual understanding that sleep is important. You may cuddle before you actually sleep, but when you want to hit the hay and really get that good night's rest, you may do that alone by yourself. I see here within manifesting magic that your sensual life and your intimate life is very extroverted. So I wouldn't be surprised, group number one, if you end up in a relationship with someone who has some sort of fetish that they share with you, some sort of kink that you both really love. And you know it's the right relationship when you can actually talk about it, when you can actually open up about it and be honest about some of the fantasies that you've had, even if it seems really outlandish or weird, or you've never tried it, so you don't actually know whether it's going to be that great or not. Just having space to open up into it and to just talk about these things can already just be so therapeutic and magical, and just show that two people are meant for each other when they don't have to fear being judged by the other person. So when it comes to all of your destined and fated romantic relationships, it's usually not very hard for you to know whether someone likes you or not. You deal with people who show you that they like you. So no bad boys or bad girls who are kind of playing hard to get and playing it cool. I see here within hidden in plain sight that you definitely kind of take your time to figure out whether the person is serious, but you only give your time to people who are kind and who show that they're interested in you. You are not interested in wasting time or in kind of not knowing whether someone actually thinks you're attractive or not. I see here within your DNA that that is something that has generationally kind of been erased. So maybe even already your parents or your grandparents were in relationships where it was very clear that, you know, one person really liked the other person and showed them by having these elaborate gestures that they may have done. So if you think about a grandma and a grandpa scenario, maybe the grandpa had this elaborate idea to tell the grandma, like, hey, I want to propose to you, I want to be with you, I really like you. Maybe they did some sort of big grand gesture. That's one thing that I see here within DNA that's instilled in you, that love should be healthy. It should make you blush. It should make you feel good and make you actually feel wanted. I see within the autumnal equinox that any type of doubts when it comes to that are released really easily. So even when you're kind of getting to know someone, you're texting them, you're figuring out who they really are, group number one, if you get any type of passive aggressive vibes, or if they, for example, start to be a little bit of a bully, mentally speaking, a little bit narcissistic. Like if you ask them how their day went and they kind of like answer in a really conceited way, they're just talking about themselves, not asking about you. Or if you tell them about a difficult situation you're going through and they just kind of tell you to not play the victim or to suck it up or it's not that bad, you already know to release that. You already know that that is not for you. That's how I see you handling romantic relationships and building them, connecting in that way. The King of Cups shows me here that you have matured way too much to fall prey or victim to that type of relationship dynamic where someone isn't treating you the way that you want to be treated and deserve to be treated, or where someone is kind of using you a little bit in order to make themselves feel better. The King of Cups shows me here that you're too strong of a personality for that when it comes to your fated romantic relationships. The Four of Wands shows me here that you want to build. So any of these fated romantic connections are here for you to build a future with the person. You don't date unless you feel as though I could marry this person. I could have children with this person. I could see myself being with this person forever. Group number 1, it looks like you don't play games. All of the important, significant, fated relationships in your life, which have actually had an impact in the long term, we've had 2 that popped up for you, and those 2 were important. They turned you into who you are today, and they still affect you in some way, and you take the good while you understand that sometimes there are challenges, and you're okay with that because every relationship has that. The Queen of Wands here shows me that you're also meant to always stay very independent no matter what type of relationship you're in. You're not the type of person to depend on anyone, not emotionally or financially, and that, group number 1, let me tell you a little secret, that's also what drives your partners wild, because they know you don't need them, you want them. And that's the best feeling that someone could have, romantically speaking. So I definitely see that that is a huge turn on when it comes to who you are as a person in a relationship. Now, the 4 of Cups here does show that sometimes you struggle with loneliness, maybe depression or anxiety. That's hard for you to communicate because you are this person with a pretty strong facade, or how should I say, a very strong like external appearance. It's not a facade, it's more that you don't really like to put all your business out there, and I get that, group number 1. That's probably the safest thing to do. But understand here within the 4 of Cups and the autumnal equinox that it's important to have someone to talk to, whether it be a friend, a parent, a grandparent, or a therapist, just so you can sometimes be heard and let off steam, and have someone who is non-judgmental listen to you and just like allow you to occupy space and just say how it is that you feel, group number 1. So all in all, we've had 2 significant connections for you that popped up within your reading, and these destined, romantic, important relationships in your life are the ones that are going to shape you. They are the ones that shape how you love and how you view love. So I really hope that this resonated for you, group number 1. I hope that you enjoyed this really long, super personal reading. If you did, make sure you leave a little lion emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you received your full reading all the way through to the last card. I would like to thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. Know that I'm sending you so much love wherever you are on this planet, whether it is day or night, and I can't wait to connect with you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your tarot reading about all of the destined and fated important romantic relationships in your life. You chose the Pink Pain Tarot deck to help guide you, as well as the Citrine crystal. I want to do a quick close-up of your stone so you can get acquainted with its energy and vibration through the screen. So you may have chosen this crystal because it's gorgeous and vibrant, but you may have also intuitively felt drawn to this crystal because actually this crystal is said to invite abundance into your life. So I'm talking money, group number 2. I'm talking financial stability and material wealth. So if you're looking for crystals to wear and to just have with you that have that type of energy that help you manifest that, use Citrine, group number 2. Furthermore, Citrine is also one of the very few crystals that never need to be cleansed, in case you didn't know. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what all of your destined and fated romantic relationships are like. So let's see what comes up in this first segment of your reading. So we've got the Queen of Bottles reversed. I can see a water sign, but not in their sun sign, so maybe their moon sign or their rising sign. Think a Scorpio, a Cancerian, or a Pisces. They're very sensitive, sensual, mysterious, and imaginative. That's the type of person that I see right here for you already. We also have the Magician, which shows me that they are a jack of all traits, and that's probably why you felt so attracted to this person, because they're capable of so many different things. And furthermore, in case you didn't know, the the astrological correspondence to the Magician is planet Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication, of a thinking process that just can't be beat, as well as anything that has to do with communication. So I do want you to know here that communication is awesome with this person. You really vibe with one another and you love how they think and how their mind works. The Magician definitely shows me here that you love how they text you, how they flirt. So this first relationship we're looking into probably started via text. Maybe you met them online too, and communication was just amazing from the beginning. The Six of Cigarettes shows me here that this relationship overall was a pretty triumphant one. It was a good one. We have yet to figure out if this is a relationship that will come to an end or if this is a lifelong bond. We're still right at the start, group number 2, but do know here with the Six of Cigarettes that it's definitely one that you feel taught you a lot, brought you a lot, gave you a lot, and it's looking really good for this relationship to actually be one that lasts for a significant amount of time, or at least when it comes to an end, you aren't seeing it as something negative. You don't feel as though the relationship was one that you regret. Next up, we've got the Five of Cigarettes. Now in the Five of Cigarettes, I can see that this relationship may have started off as almost like a forbidden love, like a flame you weren't supposed to feel this way about. So think to yourself, a coworker or someone's ex, or for example, just someone who you know may have been a little bit of a bad boy or a bad girl, and you were taking a real risk when you ended up being with them, and it actually paid off. That's one thing that I can see here in this relationship that is meant to be part of your experience in this lifetime. I see here within the Strength card that popped right out of the pile, the pink pain tarot pile for you, is that we've got this inner strength, and that this person actually taught you so much about how to remain strong and unafraid, and to remind yourself that, you know, while people may take some time to change and some people may hurt you, that doesn't mean that you have to let that get you down or make you feel like you can't trust anymore when it comes to love. So the Strength card definitely shows me here that this person not only built you up, but even in situations where they may have hurt you, the underlying message was to forgive and to remind yourself that a big part of being strong is really just your mindset. I'd actually say like 90% of strength is just how you think and how you feel about your love and your actions. So next up, within rehabilitation, I can definitely see that you are an amazing influence on this person. As already mentioned, this person with whom you're going to be in a relationship with, or with whom you've already been in a relationship with, they're a little bit of a troubled person. They have a lot going on within their life, and everything changes for the better when you come along. That's one thing that I see within rehabilitation. They start to get to know themselves better, and they love you so much for the fact that you've helped them in such a selfless way and taken a chance with them, and they don't let you down. Even if the relationship doesn't work out, you feel as though you both really tried, but we have yet to figure out more about this situation. We've got the 10-90 ratio, which is all about life actually being just 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So the 10-90 ratio definitely shows us here that a lot of this relationship is mental intelligence. It is emotional intelligence. It is learning to keep your feelings and your emotions under control when it matters and using that to your advantage. So I see that this relationship really matures you, and in a way, you guys are very happy with each other no matter what happens, because you're choosing to react positively no matter what the world throws at you. So this relationship is what really shows you everything about fighting spirit and what that is, and being with someone who has struggled, and you come into their life and you're in this relationship with them and they change for the better, and you see that they're fighting to bring out more of the good within themselves, that inspires you so much. That makes you feel so hopeful of the things that you can accomplish, seeing what this person has been able to do. Next up, we've got be authentic. So I see here that this destined, fated romantic relationship is one in which you can just be yourself, no matter what that looks like, whether your hair's tied up and you're in your favorite dirty sweats or t-shirt with like holes or sweater with holes, whatever it is. I think we all have some of those items of clothing that are just so worn in and comfortable and make us feel at home. Group number 2, that we feel really authentic in those. And I see that in this relationship that you'll be in your life, you will be able to embrace that and not have to worry about whether you're still attractive or whether they think that it's okay for you to not look very put together. This is a very understanding, caring relationship, and they find you attractive no matter what you're wearing. You could literally be wearing a bin bag, group number 2, and this person would still be into you. Next up, we've got upside down. They're completely turning your world upside down, and while a lot of people may think this is a typical scenario where there's like this bad boy or bad girl that gets together with someone, turns their world upside down, and then everything comes crashing down, it is completely different in this relationship because you make one another better. And I see here with an upside down that it also really changes your personal style. So literally how you clothe yourself, how you present yourself changes throughout the course of you being in this relationship, group number 2. I want to figure out what the initials of this person are like, so we can get an idea of what their name may be. Okay, so we've got U, A, as well as Z. So those are the important, the significant letters within their name, group number 2. Let's just zoom in so you can see. So I'll leave that right here on the Queen of Bottles reversed, which we spoke about some important water sign placements within their chart. Let's move a little further into your reading. I also do want to use some numerology actually, so I'll just put our little dish of dice right here. So we've got Venus next. In Venus, I can see that this planet shows a lot of affection, and in case you didn't know, Venus's ruling signs is Taurus and Libra. So this is the planet of beauty. It definitely shows me that this is someone who is really good looking, and that's maybe why you first felt attracted to them. They also kind of feel really attracted to you in a sense, group number 2, of feeling like you have a very unique type of beauty when it comes to how you express yourself, your gestures, your intelligence, as well as your physical appearance is a very striking combination. I see within the conjunction, which is actually at 0 degrees, in case you didn't know this, that we have a very powerful type of emphasis, a very powerful placement here within Venus. So their placement in Venus is very important, group number 2, and it shapes the relationship. It shapes how things play out between you and this person. And I see here within retrograde that a big part of this relationship is also affected by retrogrades that go on, especially Mercury retrogrades. So those are ways in which your relationship is affected astrologically. I want to see when you're meeting this person, if you've already met them, what type of significant numbers that there are. So let's see how long it really takes you to meet them, group number 2. Okay, so we've got the number 11. So 11 is significant when it comes to meeting this person. Think of like the date or the month. Then we've got 2. So it's looking like we've got the 2nd of November here for you when it comes to a time of meeting this person. I also kind of want to figure out whether this is someone with whom you'll be with for a long time. Let's see what we've got. We've got the number 1. So in the number 1, I can see here that this is a connection that is very special. Okay, this is a very unique connection, but it may not last a lot longer than a year. And as I already mentioned, this is a connection that you won't go out of feeling bitter or played or bad about or anything like that. I can see here that the main messages are learning lessons, growing in strength, understanding your fighting spirit, also understanding them, why they are the way that they are. But I do also see this kind of essence of moving on once you've realized that this relationship is maybe undervaluing you a little bit as much as you love them and care for them. I see here within the Page of Swords that this is more of a relationship that is in an immature stage. This is a relationship earlier on in your life. This is not one that is meant to last forever. There is infatuation and care and love and mutual respect, but there's also this mutual understanding about when it's meant to be over. We've got the Strength card again, which is an important card in the major arcana. The Strength card actually corresponds to Leo, and it is a card of creation. And I do see here that when you hit some sort of stagnant spot with this relationship, you both know that it's time to move on. You both know that you've enjoyed one another's company. It was fun while it lasted, but you're also strong and real enough to each other to kind of say, okay, like now we're here and we both have different priorities moving forward. We really enjoyed one another. We may stay friends, but we're kind of going to go our separate ways, romantically speaking. Now, group number 2, this is the first significant romantic relationship which is fated in your life that I've received for you. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cleanse this space and come back so we can figure out what other relationships are going to impact your life. So I will speak to you in just a moment's time. Hello, group number 2. Welcome back. We've got a cleansed space. We're ready to figure out more about all of the destined, fated, important romantic relationships in your life. And I can't wait to get straight into it for you so we can see what else is out here, if there's anything else out here. So first up, we've got the 12th house. Now, in case you didn't know this, the 12th house is significant when it comes to introspection. It is actually the house that by default rules Pisces. And I want you to know here for the 12th house that it's all about dreaming and believing. The 12th house is connected to Neptune as well. And Neptune is the planet of imagination, of psychic sensitivity, of spirituality. So I do see that this has a very significant part to play in your love life. This is an important role that this situation that we're delving into plays within your romantic experiences. Next up, we've got Aquarius. So we've got a very deep introspective type of connection here with an Aquarius. They may have their 12th house placement within Aquarius. I want you to know here that Aquarius is an air sign that's super creative and that isn't afraid to be honest. Aquarius is also, in a sense, a leader. It's ruled by Uranus. It's very independent compared to other signs, and Aquarius is very original and rebellious. So I definitely see here that this is a very deep type of love if Aquarius is willing to open up to you spiritually and emotionally speaking, group number 2, like we have here. Within conjunction, we've got the aspect here. In conjunction, we've got 0 degrees, which shows that there's a powerful emphasis on the 12th house with this Aquarius person or Aquarius placement that is important within your love life. And I can see that this is very meaningful, feeling like you are in the same boat with this person, like you understand one another effortlessly. And one thing that I can see is that you have this partner in crime type of situation with this person. Next up, we've got rest and relaxation being essential. I see here that this person actually allows you to take breaks while they are very adventurous. I see that this relationship is like a breath of fresh air. That's what I see here. This fated connection that's meant to be a part of your romantic life, group number 2, is one where you're with someone who doesn't stress you out, okay? They are allowing you to be able to rest, to relax, to not have to feel like you need to go through their phone or their emails. It's like they've got themselves sorted out. They are emotionally mature and intelligent. You don't have to constantly babysit them or wonder what they are doing. I can see here within a look to your inner strength that they also make you realize that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. This is someone who hypes you up. This is someone who makes you feel good about yourself. This is someone who is there for you no matter what. I also see some significance when it comes to numbers. We've got the number 11 here within looking to your inner strength, as well as 11 in Aquarius. And Aquarius is the 11th sign if we start from Aries. And the number 11 is an important master number. It is a number of innovation and someone who also has a very independent entrepreneurial type of spirit. And that's the type of person that I see you being in a relationship with here, group number 2. This is a destined, fated connection with someone who has their life together. They know what they want, they know where they're going, and they are focused on that. They're not playing games, romantically speaking. I can see here within love who you are, that you are so divine and deserving of amazing things, and this is something that this relationship brings out for you, group number 2. Remembering your worth, remembering that you don't need to settle for less, you don't need to settle for anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. You don't need to feel as though your standards have been too high. There are always those kind of like standard shamers, you know, the people who like to tell you your standards are way too high, you're trying to be in a relationship that doesn't exist or isn't possible. And one thing that I can see here is that you are realizing that's all BS. That's what people say who maybe don't feel like that's true for themselves, but you're not believing that, you're not taking that on board, and you're not manifesting that, and you're not living it. That's what I see here within this next important fated relationship that is a part of your life and your experience here in the earthly realms. Let's move further into it and see what Spirit has for us. This person is a passionate musician. So they may actually be pretty successful when it comes to their music, as they do have some placements that tend to show how creative that they are. Let's see what else Spirit has. We've also got lightning. So they are very powerful when it comes to a craft that they love. That's undeniable. And music may even be their main gig. Maybe they're a musician in the sense of vocals, of writing music, of producing music. Maybe they have to do with music in filmmaking, group number 2. Either way, music is an important part of what they do and their life. And it's also an important part of the relationship, because they may actually end up like making music for you. Think creating a song and writing poems and lyrics that resonate with your relationship with this person. And it's a very romantic, sweet, unique gesture that you're experiencing throughout this relationship. I see here within the Milky Way that this relationship puts some things into perspective and makes you kind of feel like life really is too short to be with anyone who stresses you out, group number 2. This is a relationship that strengthens your self-worth and that allows you to see that when you're with someone who stresses you out or who makes you feel like you can never relax, it's like you're giving away your power. That's one thing that I see here within lightning, and you're refusing to do that anymore moving forward. The stone people shows me here that you've got the vigilance within you to actually be in a spot where you'd rather be single, for example, than in an unhappy relationship. That's what you also say throughout this relationship. You tell them that there's no point in even being with someone who doesn't treat you the way that they really should, and that you're not going to settle for that. And that's a really beautiful way for you to be and for you to communicate, and it shows confidence and trust in yourself. I want to delve a little bit more into numerology, as we have here to the left, as well as runes, but I want to start off with our clear quartz crystal runes, group number 2. Let's see what they have to say about your love life. So let's identify this rune that we have here. So I believe here we've got Vunyo. Vunyo is the rune of joy, peace, and success. That is what I see here for this relationship, group number 2. This is a peaceful one. This is one where you're with someone who is successful and who celebrates your success. Spirit, let us know what rune can give us clarity next. So here within this gorgeous rune, let's identify what we've got. We've got Topaz. Now Topaz corresponds to the letter T. I find this so funny because it looks almost like a little chicken foot to me for some reason. A chicken footprint. I don't know if you see that too, group number 2. Let me know below in the comment section, or leave a little like chicken emoji below if you agree with that. So within Topaz, we have a rune of leadership and also honor. Justice is an important part of Topaz, and I see here that you both are very justice-loving people, and that is kind of like the glue that keeps this relationship together too. Political things as well as the economic imbalances, they really concern you, and you are the types of people who are philanthropic and who will try to do as much as you can for others, and you really bond over that. So I want to figure out what type of numerological significances we've got here. Let's see when you're meant to meet them, group number 2, if you haven't met them already. Okay, so we've got the number 30 as well as 6. So we've got the 30th of June. That is the exact date when you are meant to meet this person specifically, group number 2. Now, whether they're going to be with you for a really long time or not, we have yet to find out how long this relationship is supposed to last, but it's definitely one of those relationships that is healthy, at least for a significant portion of it, and that seems to have a great dynamic. Next up, we've got the 10 of Wands. So I do see here within the 10 of Wands that there will come a time where you feel like just packing up and leaving, as we have depicted here in the 10 of Wands. So this is maybe a relationship that could end in a breakup or a divorce. And group number 2, I hope that you appreciate my honesty and you are here for an honest tarot reading. As you know, that is the most important thing to me. I don't just read what people want to hear. I don't just hype people up and then it's not really like that, or that's not really the message that Spirit gave us or that Spirit had come through. So do know here within the 10 of Wands that there is a breaking point within this relationship, or at least a point where you are seriously considering going your separate ways. I see here within the Tower that this is actually confirmed by your guides. They're speaking directly right now to the fact that things are going to eventually break apart for one reason or another. Now, this person may re-enter your life. We have yet to find out. We're still early on within your prediction, within your tarot reading about all of the significant fated romantic relationships in your life, but do know here that this is not the forever relationship. This is not one where you feel as though, okay, this is going to last till we're old and gray. And not every relationship can be that, group number 2. Obviously, only one can be that relationship, or else you'd be growing old with a lot of different people. I see here in the 8 of Wands that when things do fall apart, they fall apart rapidly, very quickly. It's almost as though you move on to someone else at lightning speed, and moving on to someone else very quickly may actually also kind of indicate that you find someone where you know, okay, this is the one, and there's kind of no point in being with this person anymore. And there are no hard feelings. You're just realizing that maybe you were better as friends or business partners rather than romantic companions forever, because forever is a long time, group number 2. So this is the second really important fated romantic relationship in your life that we've received. I do want to clear the space again for you, group number 2, and then see what other messages that we have, what other significant relationships may come through, whether there are marital structures, children, all of that good stuff, group number 2. So allow for me to cleanse the space, and I'll be right back to delve even further into your pick a card love reading. Okay, group number 2, let's see what other messages that we have about all of the destined and fated romantic relationships in your life. Let's see if there are any more, what types of relationships these are. Let's figure out everything about your love life, shall we? We've got writing, as well as being on the right path, and teaching. So I do see here that teaching, writing, that's an important part of this relationship, of this situation that we have going on here. So I can see that you're on the right path with someone who is compassionate, who is a natural born leader, but in a way how they inspire young people or people who are not as experienced as they are. They also spend a lot of time writing. That is what I see here as an important part of this next relationship. And with being on the right path with this person, it seems as though this is a soulmate or a twin flame type of connection. A connection that is meant to actually last for a significant amount of time. We had writing as well as author, so it's very clear here that you are meant to be with someone who does writing professionally. They have a whole book inside of them and they want to express it, and they're finding the perfect moment to write it while you are actually with this person in the romantic relationship, and you're supporting them. You're almost like their guardian angel, pushing them to put their all into it and to not be shy, to not be afraid to express everything that they have within them. So you're really this person's biggest supporter and cheerleader. That's one thing that I can see for this relationship. Next up, we've got connecting with your womb. So someone's connecting with their womb within this relationship, group number 2, and connecting with your womb, well, that can lead to offspring. So I do see here that when it comes to offspring, when it comes to children, you're on the right path with this person. This is someone who is very much an introvert. They are a creative. They like their own creative time, and they're a very thoughtful type of person, and I see that that's really attractive to you. You may also have pets together. You may adopt animals, take care of animals, foster animals with this person. I definitely see that they are mature enough for this type of commitment, and that this is a destined and fated romantic relationship that impacts you in a way how you feel like there are still people out here who care and who aren't too childish to be committed, really. I see here within connecting with your ancestors that this person has a very interesting gene pool. So they may be mixed with a lot of different things, or you may end up doing like an ancestry test and find out that you too maybe have some common ancestors that you had no idea of, right? That you have some things in common that go way, way, way back. So that may be the reason why you click and connect so well. And I also see here that meditation, grounding yourself with this person, that is all part of the relationship. That's all part of what's going on. I also do want to move into a little bit of numerology here. I want to figure out what's going on here with connecting with your womb, what type of animal situation we've got. So really number of children, then maybe going into more detail about the children, and maybe number of animals and going into more detail about that. So let's see what we've got here for you. Group number 2. Let's see what the universe has to say. Okay, so we've got 1 kid right here. 1 kid, 1 pet. Let's figure out what the other number is. We've got 2. Okay, so we've got 2 and 1 for you, group number 2. So we've either got 1 child and 2 pets, or we've got 2 children and 1 pet. Either way, the number isn't super high. You're more about quality rather than quantity. I want to figure out a little bit more about this situation, about what the offspring with this person would be like, what this relationship feels like. So we've got the Knight of Pills, we've got a young earth sign. So in the Knight of Pills, think to yourself a Taurus, a Virgo, or even a Capricorn. They are grounded. They are a very practical person, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, their parents are grounded and practical. See what else we've got. We've got the 6 of Pills. So this offspring is going to be really successful. That's what I see here within the 6 of Pills. This is going to be a kid that you have that goes very far in life, that inspires a lot of people, that makes a lot of money. And I see here within strength that they get it from within. So you are definitely teaching this child to grow up with a lot of confidence and inner strength, especially if you feel like you weren't brought up with as much confidence and strength as you would have wished that your parents would have kind of given you, group number 2. So I definitely see you making some changes when it comes to your own parenting, because you don't want to create trauma. You don't want to add to trauma, because you know how hard it can be to work through that. Spirit, what else do you need to tell us about this fated romantic connection? Ooh, the 2 of Cups is a powerful card when it comes to love, group number 2, because the 2 of Cups is a card of a soulmate and twin flame connection that is meant to last. A respectful connection, one where 2 people have truly found each other, 2 people who belong together, so to say, 2 people who connect on a really deep and intimate level. So this connection here, this is the one, group number 2. This connection is the one that you're meant to be in for a long, long time. I see here within the 5 of Wands that despite what life may throw at you, despite what may come your way, of course there will be challenges. You are still meant to be together. And I see that some of these challenges that you face with this person have to do with some generational behaviors that were passed down to you. We had the Queen of Cups pop right out of the pile as I was speaking about this. So a message that I'm receiving here about this is that we've got this water sign woman that had an influence, a big impact on you or this partner who you'll be with, group number 2. And this water sign woman was like a Scorpio, a Cancerian, or a Pisces, and they were kind and nurturing, but maybe they were also really narcissistic. Maybe they were also kind of very overprotective and treated you or your significant other growing up in a way that eroded some of your confidence or made you feel like you weren't quite good enough. It's like they were never quite happy with what you accomplished. You never felt that they were 100% proud of you. You never had that feeling of truly being loved unconditionally, deeply, no matter whether you scored well at a test or whether you chose to study a certain topic or get a certain job. That's one thing that I see. But here within the Lovers, another, like these 2 cards just hit the nail on the head, group number 2. You can't get any better than this in the tarot when it comes to romantic love. For these 2 cards to show up together in this part of your reading where we're talking about this destined, fated romantic relationship, we've got the Lovers, which just shows you are meant to be with this person. You're destined to be with this person, to reproduce with them, to have a family, to feel like you've got a home base and someone who you can truly trust, depend, and count on. I also want to add some initials into this reading so we can figure out a little bit more information about who this person is, because I'm sure you're really curious too, group number 2. Maybe you've already met them. Maybe they're already in your life and this is just like the confirmation that you needed. Okay, let's see what Spirit has. We've got F as well as E when it comes to initials and significant letters within their name, within your lover's name. So this is really awesome to see. I'm really excited about how this is developing. But now, Spirit, let us know what else that we need to know about this person and this soulmate connection, this ancient connection that dates back to joint ancestors and a joint heritage. We've got Imum Coeli. I see that you're rooted at the core, at the deepest level with one another, and this relationship is going to exist for lifetimes to come still. There is a connection here that can't be severed. It's like a soul tie almost. We've also got Libra. They've got a strong Libra placement that allows you to identify who they are. They want everything to be in balance. Using their brain is important to them, also hence why they're so good at writing, and they're most likely also amazing at teaching. Being a Libra means they are ruled by Venus, and they're also someone who is very flirty, very diplomatic, and they're someone who sticks to their word. When they say they'll do something for you, they will do it. Group number 2. Next up, we've got the square or semi-square. I do see here that this Libra placement does put a lot of tension and strain on the relationship with the child situation we have here. We only had information about one child, which leads me to think that maybe there is just one, or there's one in the near future only, and maybe the second or third one could be really far off. But from what Spirit has guided us towards right now, group number 2, we've got the number 1. So I do see some tension here when it comes to expectations. I do see some tension here when it comes to wanting for that child to be successful and to have the best education, to have manners, to do something impactful with their existence. But in the end, it all kind of works out for the better because, as already mentioned, this is a kid you're really proud of. This is a kid that's really doing something important in this world. So they are happy with their accomplishments, and so are you, as well as this partner that you're with. I see here within Saturn that structure is really important in this relationship, and most likely also why you are surrounded by so much success in this fated soulmate forever connection, really, because the more you have structure and a plan of what to do, the more things actually do work out. Oh, we actually have another letter here that I failed to notice. Let's see what it is. We've got the letter A. So we'll add that to their name, of course, group number 2. Wouldn't want you to miss out on that. Do we have Faye here? Well, so coming back to Saturn, structure is important. Your relationship thrives on that. You have certain routines, like, for example, going grocery shopping together every Saturday, or, for example, spending a time doing movie nights every Friday. I definitely see here that structure is what lets you and this creative partner you're meant to be with thrive in a world where, you know, creativity doesn't really have rules like that. So being able to have structure and being able to kind of still have a strong hold on life is what gives this situation a lot of stability, group number 2. That's what makes this relationship really healthy and one of significance within your lifetime. So group number 2, I hope that you've enjoyed this deep dive into all of your destined and fated romantic relationships in your life. I'm going to clear the space right now and see if we've got anything left from the universe, from your guides, any additional information or connections, or whether these ones that we've discussed so far are it, or whether there's anything else that we haven't uncovered. So just allow for a second for me to clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be right back for us to get some final guidance from the divine. Hello, group number 2. Did you miss me? I'm back so we can figure out if there are any more fated soulmate connections that are important in your life. and that will have an impact on how you see love. So first up, we've got look for fairies. So one thing that I can see here, group number 2, is that spending a lot of time in your own world is important throughout your love life. Spending time doing the things that you love, pursuing interests and hobbies that make you happy. That's where it's at for you, romantically speaking. And that's what keeps you really interesting to the people you're seeing, dating, married to, because they can tell that you have your own life. Next up, we've got aromatherapy. So I can definitely see here that scent is really important. And that is a big driving factor when it comes to finding someone attractive and feeling as though someone is actually compatible with you. You may not pay that much attention to this or even notice it at this point, group number 2, but the way someone smells greatly impacts how attractive that you think that they are. So these are some little details that don't point to another relationship or another important fated romantic relationship in your life, but I do want to ask the tarot a little more so we can figure out what your guides and what spirit has to say about this. So we've got the Six of Pentacles as well as the Queen of Wands. So it looks like there might be another interesting romantic relationship here. So someone who really makes your senses kind of heightened when it comes to how they smell. That's what I see here with the Queen of Wands, a fire sign. Think Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. They're spontaneous, adventurous. They put themselves out there. And in the Six of Pentacles, I can see here that they are also in a very comfortable position when it comes to their professional life. They are well established, and they're the type of person who puts a lot of value into education and also their appearance. So this is a very well-groomed type of individual. This is someone who, yes, has go-getter type of masculinity, but at the same time, they have a very soft side to them that they are not afraid to show, and they're not uncomfortable to express how they feel whenever it matters. Next up, within the Wheel of Fortune, I can see that this is kind of like an up and down type of relationship that you have with this person. So this is a significant relationship in your life. It's maybe not your forever relationship or your forever marriage situation, but nevertheless, it is a romantic relationship. And I can see here that in this relationship, you'll have a lot of time to yourself, hence why we've got look for fairies. Maybe almost a little too much time. I do see here in the Wheel of Fortune that the spurts between seeing this person and then also being alone, it's really long and strenuous. It's a lot for you and for the relationship. So it may be that this is a long distance relationship, or they've got to travel a lot for work. They're unavailable very often. So you most likely just came to a point where you thought to yourself, well, this isn't really working because I would like to spend more time with a partner. Let's see what else happened here. We've got the World as well as the Ace of Swords. So I do see here within the World and the Ace of Swords that at first this seemed like the perfect connection. At first this seemed like they would be your forever person, and maybe your values were placed on their professional accomplishments or even what they could do for you financially. And there's nothing wrong with that, group number 2. Financial stability gives a lot of freedom. So I do see here in the Ace of Swords that the beginning was when things were amazing and awesome within this relationship. But after a little bit, after some time, you realized who they truly were and where their values lay, and it just didn't work out from that point out anymore, because you realized that maybe they were a little too focused on themselves and their career rather than putting the relationship first, rather than ensuring that you felt loved and taken care of and like you truly mattered. That's one thing that I can see here. So while it may have seemed too good to be true or really awesome for a while, I see that this relationship kind of had its downfall when it comes to spending time with each other and them showing that they put you first and care about you more than they care about their job or their professional accomplishments. Next up, we've got confessions. So I do see here that talking about it kind of almost made it worse. It's almost as though they felt really attacked whenever you would bring this up, group number 2. So I see that this fated romantic relationship was one where you were honest, you were outspoken, but they didn't really take it the way that you intended for them to take the message. And I can see here within the cards that we've got your world kind of slowly but surely turning into more of a gray situation than a colorful one, the more that you realize that this person has their routine, they like things the way they like them, and change is pretty difficult. They were maybe very conservative as well, so anything that was too progressive kind of scared them, or was maybe even a non-starter within this romantic relationship. Next up, we've got hope on the horizon. So I see here for you, group number 2, that when it comes to hope on the horizon, you didn't feel as though this was the end-all, say-all, be-all. So this relationship is one that happened at a stage in your life when you were very aware of your value. You were very aware of the fact that, well, if this doesn't work out, it will work out with someone else. There is someone out there who wants to spend time with me, who wants to be with me, and who will put me first in many situations. While you are understanding about professional things coming first and work sometimes needing to kind of be the more important aspect, you feel as though there are kind of limits to that. And you were not afraid to leave this relationship because you just knew that what seemed to be perfect at first turned out to maybe not be the fairy tale that you hoped it would be. The wolf shows me here that your instinct led you away. Your instinct showed you that you can do better, and like this is not fitting for you. That is not to say that this wasn't a great person or that this person can't have potential in a different relationship. It just wasn't for you, group number 2. And that's okay. Sometimes we need to realize that. Sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves, or we end up spending months, years, or even decades in relationships that simply aren't cut out for us, that simply are not satisfying basic needs that we have for romantic relationships. I can see here within the autumnal equinox that this was an easy and natural release because you knew that this wasn't meant to last. You knew that you tried, but this relationship just did not quite hit the nail on the head. And that's where I see here in the autumnal equinox that you realized, okay, I just got to go. I just need to let this person do their own thing. I need to let them lead their own life and accomplish the things that they want to, and be with someone who is in a position where they're not only established, but they're also ready to put other things before work every now and then. So group 2, this is a very simple, straight to the point, fated romantic relationship that will or has existed within this lifetime of yours. I will now clear the space and come back so we can see if there are any more significant relationships that your guides and the universe wants us to talk about here and wants you to know about. Hello, group 2. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you liking all of these juicy details about all of the destined romantic relationships in your life? I hope that you're enjoying this super personalized, really long prediction. So we've got the High Priestess, which is a major arcana card. And I want you to know here within the High Priestess that this card corresponds to the moon. So this is a card of self-reflection. This is a card that speaks of your feminine cycles. And the moon is also a planet of habit patterns, of feelings, of sensitivity. And it's a very nurturing type of energy that we get here from the moon. But the High Priestess showing up in reverse for you definitely shows us here that the universe is trying to address something that is maybe out of balance, as the High Priestess also corresponds to the number 2, and the number 2 is a number of balance. It's a number of duality. Next up, we've got the 4 of Knives reversed. So in the 4 of Knives reversed, I can see that when it comes to feeling lonely, you've got tons that you're learning, romantically speaking. You're not feeling as though you need another person to complete you. You don't let feelings of loneliness get to you. That's why the 4 of Knives showed up in reversed. And you understand that sometimes being sensitive can definitely translate into a little bit of neediness. And it's hard to admit this. And I don't want to call you out or anything, group number 2, but I just want to tell you what I see and what messages I'm receiving. And you're learning that maybe in certain situations you were unnecessarily needy. Your neediness was just a reflection of some work that needed to be done internally speaking. But you took the responsibility on to ensure that you're no longer allowing for yourself to just let neediness kind of dictate your responses. And I can see here that that really helped you in the end, romantically speaking. Next up, we've got the Sun reversed. Now, this is a very favorable card. Even when it shows up reversed, I can see here that when it comes to your happiness, getting to know yourself, as well as not feeling like you need another person to complete you, that's like the ultimate winning mindset that you have developed throughout your romantic history. That's one thing that I get here. We've also got the Wheel of Fortune. This is your personal story, group number 2, and your personal story is important. It is valid, it is beautiful, and it is worth telling. The Wheel of Fortune tells me here that anytime you kind of set something into motion, you follow through with it. You're someone who has got discipline. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. And I see here that you're not afraid to disconnect from people who hold you back, because you understand that every step counts, every day counts. We never know whether this is our last day or whether we're granted any more days on this beautiful planet in this earthly existence. So sometimes you just pull the plug on people. If these are people who are toxic or who have ghosted you, especially romantic interests who you know are just kind of treating you like you're a bench warmer, in disconnect, you're just cutting them off, you're moving on, you know your value, and you understand that every time you reinforce your boundaries, you're actually just strengthening not only your resilience, but also your self-respect, and you're making it very clear that you are a high caliber individual. So I can see here that we don't have another relationship as of this point in your reading that the universe wants to point out to us, that your guides want to speak of. So I can see here that we have most likely spoken about all of the significant, important romantic relationships in your life, and the universe just has some added messages for you, group number 2, that you need to hear and that you can benefit from. We've got fighting spirit as well as being authentic for you. So I can see here that being authentic definitely also comes with fighting for the fact that you will not be told what to do, you won't be controlled, you won't be put in positions that you don't want to be in, you won't be called someone who just is needy or jealous or anything like that. If someone starts with those types of words, you're leaving, and you understand here that disconnecting from people who kind of make it clear that they want you to compromise your core values is the only way to protect yourself spiritually and emotionally, and also romantically speaking. There are a lot of narcissists out here, group number 2. I want you to stay safe, because they can really do a number on your self-worth and confidence. So staying away from those types of people is super important. And I see in gentleness that you're also committed to living a soft life. No hard relationships, no relationships that are filled with struggle. You want someone who has their life together, okay? Whether that be having a job, their own place, having hobbies and friends and financial stability, and being in a spot where you can tell that they're mature and they have their life together. That isn't too much to ask for if you yourself have that to offer to group number 2, okay? So living a soft life is being with someone who doesn't bring drama into your life. Being in relationships with people who can actually do something for you. There is reciprocity. It's not just you giving and teaching and showing them the way and struggling with them through their hardships just for them to maybe leave you anyways or lie to you or cheat on you. No, 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 no. You are definitely practicing leveling up, romantically speaking, and not being with anyone who isn't bringing to the table the types of things that you're bringing to the table. And that doesn't make you someone who's conceited. That doesn't make you stuck up. that just shows that you know your worth and your value and the things that are important to you, and you want gentleness in a relationship. You don't want someone who stresses you out, and you have every right to follow through on that, group number 2. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. Next up, we've got the Meadow. You want to be in your divine feminine, no matter who you identify as, group number 2. We all have feminine energies, and you want to be able to just lay in this meadow, in your vulnerability. You want to lay in this place of being taken care of every now and then, of someone treating you with gentleness, with kindness, with softness, and just enjoying that experience, not feeling like you always have to be the divine masculine. You always have to be the leader who's saying what the relationship is doing next, or what to do next in life. You don't want to be the policeman or the policewoman who's constantly feeling the need to check someone's messages or emails or DMs because you know maybe some shady stuff is going on. You do not want that. You don't have time or patience for that. You want to be able to be vulnerable in your relationships. And that makes so much sense, group number 2. The Milky Way shows me here that you've got this long-term perspective. So no matter how cute or sweet or perfect someone may seem at the start, group number 2, you're not going to fall for it if you can tell that in the long term, there are certain things that just stress you out to the point that you cannot, oh, we have another card that popped out of the pile, that you cannot see yourself being in a relationship for decades where you have to worry about certain things, and that's okay. We all have non-starters in relationships. We've got the ceremony reversed for you. So I do see here that you will only commit, you will only marry or be in a relationship where you're meeting parents or kind of merging friends. You're celebrating some sort of get together of you and a romantic partner if you are sure of this and if they have already proven it. You are not going to be okay with just loving someone's potential. You've been there, done that, and moving forward, you need for things to be exactly as you need them to be right from the start. Otherwise, you have nothing, because all you have is the movement in the moment, right? You cannot predict whether someone is actually going to change or be better or do better. A month, a year, 10 years from now, they may remain the same. So you understand that the only movement that you can judge is how someone is handling the relationship or the situationship right now. And that is the entire indication that you need to know whether you are with someone who has potential to be with you, romantically speaking, or whether you are in a relationship or situationship that doesn't serve you. I want to also just add a few runes to close off for you, group number 2. Okay, let's identify what we've got here. Let's do a close-up. So here within this rune, I believe we've got Lagus. Lagus stands, oh wait, we're not zoomed in. There you go, group number 2. Lagus stands for water. Lagus stands for flow, renewal. We've got the river right here. We were just talking about that. So this is really important. Things need to flow from the start. That is a message that I'm hearing for you, group number 2. We've got this little rune right here, which is Awaz. Let me just zoom in for you. There we go. Now, Awaz corresponds to the letter E. This is a rune of partnership and also transportation, so forward movement. We have that here in the river, right? Movement and flowing and moving with one another. So it's not just one person in charge of the transportation in the relationship, maybe even quite literally speaking. It's not just one person organizing moves and the home and figuring out where to go next. You want a partner. You don't want a child that you need to take care of. We have what I believe to be Gabo. So Gabo is a rune of marriage and unconditional love. This is a rune of partnership and generosity. Okay, so I can see here that being with a generous person before you tie the knot, before you get engaged, before you do anything that would tie you to a romantic partner, I can definitely see that you need to test the waters. You are testing the waters, and the only way how you're going to fully commit is if that partnership and that generosity is there from both sides. So group number 2, this is really awesome to see your outlook, to see your thought process, to see what messages and significant relationships that are here for your lifetime that we spoke about throughout these messages that we've received. And I hope that they resonated for you and that you enjoyed this super personalized, really long and detailed reading. Make sure that you leave a little feather emoji below in the comment section if you did, and if you made it all the way to the end, if you watched all the way through to this point. I don't know how long your reading is. I know it's very long, but I just loved spending time with you, group number 2, and I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I'm so happy that we got to sit and chill and be in one another's aura and just see how you're developing, romantically speaking, and you should be proud of yourself. Now, group 2, thank you for spending this divine time and space with me. I can't wait to speak to you next time. I wish you a lovely day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll catch you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your Pick a Card Tarot reading about all of the fated, important romantic relationships in your life. You chose the Tattoo Tarot in connectivity to the Carnelian crystal. I want to first do a little close-up of the Carnelian for you so you can get acquainted with its energy and vibration, and I also want to give you a little bit of info on the Carnelian. Shall we get into it? So, group number 3, the Carnelian grounds and anchors you in the present reality. It is a stabilizing stone with high energy. It is excellent for restoring vitality and motivation and for stimulating creativity. It is useful for dramatic pursuits. Carnelian has the ability to cleanse other stones. I also want to talk a little bit about the healing that Carnelian can do for you, so you have more of an idea as to why you maybe felt intuitively drawn to this stone, especially as we're speaking of love. In the healing message, the Carnelian is full of the life force and vitality that you need. It stimulates the metabolism. It activates the base chakra. It influences the female reproductive organs and increases fertility. Carnelian is also said to improve the absorption of vitamins and minerals and ensures a good supply of blood to organs and tissues. That's what we've got about the Carnelian here for you, group number 3. So I hope that was insightful, but now let's figure out exactly what important fated romantic relationships are here in your life, if there's any at all, group number 3, because there is, of course, the possibility that there are none. But let's see what your guides and the universe has to say. So, Spirit, let us know exactly what romantic fated connections are here, if there are any. Give us all the details, please. We've got the 6 of Cups, we've got the Ace of Cups, as well as the Ace of Swords. So I see here for you, group number 3, in the Ace of Cups, that there are romantic beginnings very frequently within your lifetime. So often people have potential, romantic partners have potential to be the one, but they kind of end up not following through in the way that you wanted them to. But I do see here in the 6 of Cups that overall your love life throughout your life is going to feel pretty satisfying. So this sense of looking back at your life and the things that you experienced romantically speaking and feeling as though, yeah, you know what, actually my life was filled with a lot of great romantic relationships. I can't complain. I see here within the Ace of Swords that you also have a very specific idea or maybe checklist of things that you want, non-negotiables, kind of traits that you like within a partner. And I see that while you give people the benefit of the doubt and you give people chances, you're not going to stick around for all that long as soon as you kind of see that, oh, maybe those non-negotiables are not really working out with this person, or maybe this person just has a completely different outlook on what a relationship is. So we have a card that popped right out of the pile for you, group number 3, which is the King of Swords. So we're moving into the first destined, important romantic relationship in your life, which is one with an air sign. Think a Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini. The King of Swords shows us here that they're most likely older than you. They're very mature. They've got their life together. They have a very cutthroat type of attitude and personality. They're very direct. They can also be super innovative, and people look up to them and even fear them a little bit. That's what I see here within the King of Swords. They are the type of person who is pretty mature and who is very intelligent. So they most likely have a really great education to group number 3. Next up, we've got the Knight of Wands. Now in the Knight of Wands, I can see that they also have some fire placements. Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries placements to be precise with you. And the Knight of Wands shows me here that those are lesser placements than what we have in the King of Swords. So less significant or impactful placements within their birth chart that are within fire signs. But I do want you to know that this is a very masculine person. This is someone who is most likely not going to talk about their feelings very often. This is a relationship with someone who loves their divine masculine, wants to live it, and wants you to kind of give them more of the divine feminine, be on the receiving end. That's what I see here. Let's figure out more about this romantic relationship, shall we? We've got the 9th house. So the 9th house is actually the house of exploration and also kind of higher education. It is the house of seeking, of seeing, of learning. So their 9th house is definitely of some sort of significance when it comes to the relationship, and it influences your relationship a lot. The 9th house by default rules Sagittarius, and with Sagittarius we've got that fire sign energy. So actually I'll place the 9th house right over here. Sagittarius energy is very optimistic and honest and also very restless. So I see that their 9th house placement is giving this relationship kind of like a bit of an edge and a bit of this vibe of not really knowing what comes next. So it keeps things interesting with this person. Next up, we've got Aries. So while the 9th house by default is ruling Sagittarius, we do have this fire sign energy we were talking about in the Knight of Wands. And this is more specifically Aries energy. So it's not just the default ruling, we've got Aries specifically. This is a message we're receiving. So Aries is a sign that is very enthusiastic, very energetic, pioneering, and assertive, very real. So I can see that this relationship is with someone who walks their talk. They love adventures, they love to do things, and they like to do things for you. That is one thing that I see here specifically. They're cool with long distance traveling. They actually really love that, and traveling with you is like an essential part for them of the relationship. So this could be someone with whom you travel the world with whom you go on lots of adventures with. I see here within the solar flares that you activate a little bit of this primal instinct within this person. They want to protect you, they want to provide for you, they want to be there for you. I see here in connectivity to the King of Swords that because they're also most likely quite a bit older than you, quite a few years older than you, that gives them even more of this sense of responsibility, but they like that. They like to feel in control and like they're doing something for you. Now, whether they're actually in control or not, group number 3, I mean, that is up to you how you would like to interpret that, but when you give them the feeling like they're in control and you give them the feeling like they are your lifesaver, that is what they live for. They love that. Next up, we've got the 11th house. Now in the 11th house, we've got the house of friends and also community. So that is important to them. They will make you a part of their friend group and friend circle very quickly. They will introduce you to other people. To them, it's really important that you get along well with their friends and family and that you become part of the community. I do want to add some letters in so we can figure out who this person is on a more detailed level, what their initials are. So we've got I as well as R for you. So one thing that I do also want you to take note of is the fact that they want you to be part of the community and the friend and family circle that they have. That means that they are serious about you. That means that this is a relationship that they would like to see last forever, right? They would like for this relationship to be the one. Whether this is the one or not, whether this is a forever relationship, we have yet to figure that out, group number 3. So let's ask Spirit what we need to know next about this connection. So let's see, we've got dream time. Spirit, let us know exactly what we need to know about this connection. We've got dance as well as music. So I do see here there's celebrating going on. There are festivities. So taking you maybe to weddings. This could be your own wedding. I see that within dance, music, and dream time, creating a dream wedding, creating a dream venue that you're really in love with, group number 3. So this is a pretty serious relationship that I see, as there is that fun aspect of committing to celebration, but not just celebrating in the sense of going out and partying, but a real celebration where invites are being sent out, where people from maybe all across the country or the globe are being invited to, like a real destination wedding type of situation. That's one thing that I can see here. So they're putting their money where their mouth is, group number 3. And this is a significant relationship, a fated one in your life, where you know that it's right. And so you're more than happy to step up to the plate as well and see where this will go. Let's figure out more details about this relationship. We've got the 5 of Swords. Now in the 5 of Swords, I can see that someone is leaving. And that's the type of energy that surrounds this connection, in the sense of you maybe being in a relationship or them having just gotten out of a relationship when you find one another. Or this relationship even having its own natural ending. So while there is a lot of celebration, creation, and building a life together, it was either built during a time where you were fresh out of a relationship and you found this person and you knew that they were the one, or we have an ending that's coming towards this relationship at some point in time. But the 5 of Swords could also be the type of ending of till death do us part. Okay, so there are different ways for things to end, not just breakups, also losing someone. But let's get more into the nitty gritty. Let's figure out what Spirit has to say. We've got the Empress. Oh, okay. Now I see what we've got here with the whole leaving situation. They were infatuated with you. They saw you as this Empress, as this beautiful, fertile, gorgeous being, and they could not resist. They knew that you were the one. Even though they were maybe seeing someone else or freshly broken up with another person, they didn't need to wait. They didn't need time to figure out what they wanted next. They just knew that it was right with you. So while they did still have some healing to do, and they were aware of that, and they knew that they would have to maybe do that while they were with you, they also understood, like, this is their chance to be with you. This is their chance to be with someone who they want to marry and be with forever. And they wanted to grab that opportunity. The 6 of Pentacles shows me here that they believe that sharing is caring. Okay, so they will share everything with you. This person loves to give you gifts. That is their love language. They have this almost like sugar daddy vibe, group number 3, but not an actual sugar daddy, just like, you know, someone who's older and caring and likes to provide and give you things that make you happy. That doesn't mean that that's all that they have to offer. But I mean, does it hurt? I'd say no, group number 3. Next up, we've got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands definitely already showed up here within the reading for you at an earlier point, as we were still using the Tattoo Tarot. So I see here within the Knight of Wands that whenever something needs to be done, this person does it. And they dropped this person whom they were seeing before you without any hesitation, and they just knew that it was right with you. There's no other way to put it, group number 3. Next up, we've got the Everything is Fine card reversed. So I do see here that it is very important for you to keep in mind, in order to protect this relationship, it is important that you remind yourself to stay out of any toxicity and keep any type of comparison away from this relationship. That is detrimental to it. So remind yourself here that everything is only fine when you're actually looking at where there are issues and you're addressing them. If you're not addressing issues in this relationship, then of course it won't last. No relationship lasts if you ignore important or pressing issues and parts of it. But I see here within the Chariot that this relationship is meant to move forward. This relationship is meant to propel you to like a next level in life, like an upper echelon, if you will, group number 3, and that this forward movement makes you feel like you're building something, like you're going somewhere with another person. And that is what we have throughout this relationship. So I do also want to add some runes into your reading for you, group number 3, so we can figure out a little bit more about this relationship in particular. Okay, so first up, we've got this rune right here. This, for some reason, always reminds me of a little chicken foot. Don't ask me why. So within this rune, we've got Topaz, which is a rune of leadership and authority. And that's exactly the type of person you'll be with here. This is the type of person you're going to marry, that you're going to be in this committed relationship with. And here within the second rune that we received, we've got Berkana. Berkana is a rune of birth as well as new beginnings. And one thing that I do want you to know here with the Empress and Berkana is that there is most likely going to be children involved, some sort of offspring that you're taking care of together, maybe pets that you're taking care of together. And I do want to also get into the numerology of it so we can figure out exactly how many children that we're speaking of here. Okay, we've got 2, group number 3. So I can see that we've got 2 kids here, 2 little offsprings, and I can definitely see here in connectivity to the rest of your reading that just flows super well with you and this person, with the values that are in this relationship. And this relationship does have the potential to be a till death do us part type of relationship, but I want to move further into the remaining destined, fated, important romantic relationships in your life. So I will clear the space, group number 3, and then what we're going to do is that we're going to ask your guides and spirit if there are any more fated relationships that are in your life, and figure out all the details so you know whether this is the main one, the most important one, the only one, or whether this is one of many, group number 3. So just allow for me to clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be right back with you to continue on your love reading. Okay, group number 3, let's move further into all of the destined, important romantic relationships in your life and see if there are any more that your guides want to talk to you about. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles as well as the King of Cups. So there's definitely more relationships here than the one that we just spoke of. So you're going to have more than one significant relationship in your life. We have yet to figure out all the details, but I want you to know here in the Queen of Pentacles that they've got some earth sign placements, some Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo placements. And I see here within the King of Cups that they also have strong water sign placements. So think Pisces, Scorpio, as well as Cancerian. So they have divine feminine energy. That's one thing that I can see here. They're very receptive, they're very caring, they're nurturing, and it is important for them to build a stable home life. That's what I see in the Queen of Pentacles. Next up, we've got the 7 of Pentacles. I'll just move that right over here to the earth sign part of this person. Now, the 7 of Pentacles shows me that this person is someone who is adamant about creating a nest egg, about creating financial stability in the long run. And this person lets you know that that's the type of life that they're looking to lead. So they are very financially in charge and intelligent. That's what I see here. Then we've got the 9 of Cups. I'll add the 9 of Cups over to the King of Cups, where we've got the water sign energy part of this prediction. And I see here in the 9 Nine of Cups that they have a lot of your favorite traits, emotionally speaking. They listen to you, they care, they nurture. They're the type of person who is there for you, even in difficult times. And I see in the King of Cups and the Nine of Cups that they seem like the perfect partner, really. Group number 3. So this is an important person, romantically speaking, because you feel like they have a real strong head on their shoulders and like they know where they're going. That's one thing that we've gotten so far from this significant relationship in your life. Next up, we've got the 5th house. Now, the 5th house is the house of passion. It is the house that is all about doing things. It's all about romance, also children, creativity, and this is something that this person wants. They want a family life. They want children. They want to bring passion into the relationship in a way that isn't just sensual, in a way that isn't just bedroom passion, group number 3. And I see here within Virgo that if we're looking at what specific earth sign placements that they have, we've got Virgo in here. So Virgo energy, in case you didn't know, is very critical and detail oriented. This person is super service minded, and they are also the type of person who is very useful around the house, and they love to just do things that can make your life easier, group number 3. So this is one of the significant romantic relationships that will touch your life in some way, and it seems to be a relationship that's definitely on the healthy side, that's definitely on the side of you receiving. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, in case you didn't know, and Virgo being ruled by Mercury, that's a planet of irrational thinking. That's a planet of communication and also ensuring that, everything goes as planned. So they are a planner. I can see here within the ascendant that they've got a water sign in an ascendant placement. And I see here within the ascendant that they're the type of person who likes to kind of make sure that you're okay. So they ask you how you're doing. This is a relationship that is built on reciprocity, and it's a relationship where you feel as though you are taken care of emotionally as well as financially. Next up, we've got no strings attached. So this may be exactly where the relationship kind of goes through some interesting turning points. So the thing with this person is that no strings attached is what draws them in. If you seem like you have your own life, group number 3, your own stuff going on, and you're not gunning for a relationship, you're not like, yes, I want marriage and kids and I want to be in a committed relationship, that no strings attached is what really makes them crazy about you. However, if you make them feel constricted, this person won't stick around for long. So this fated, important romantic relationship is one that you're only able to experience if you kind of play it cool, right? And if you don't say how badly you want to settle down until a little bit of time has passed and you have given them breathing room so they don't immediately feel encroached on and they don't immediately feel like they have to give up their freedom because that's the only thing that you will settle for. You get the picture, group number 3. So in no strings attached, this relationship is only possible if you give them space to come to you. You approaching this person won't go down well and they will run for the hills. Next up, we've got rehabilitation. So I do see that this person has been in very constrictive relationships before, maybe even a marriage in the past. So they want to keep the attachment to a minimum until they are really sure about where this relationship is going. So in rehabilitation, they are dealing with some past traumas and just things that made them into who they are today. So have a little bit of time for that. Have a little bit of grace when it comes to that. I understand, group number 3, you are not anyone's therapist, nor are you here to heal anyone's trauma, but this just gives you a little bit of an understanding as to why this person is the way that they are. I can see here with the 1090 ratio that they truly believe that life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. That is one thing that they've taken from past relationships and they want to take into future relationships. So they are a quick learner. They're someone who doesn't like to make the same mistake again. And while you may kind of give them freedom, that is what draws them in, and that is where they then decide to themselves like, okay, I really want to spend more time with this person because my reaction to them giving me space is that I actually want to be around them even more. I see here within Crystal Clear that this person does not play any games. They're very forthcoming about their emotions and their feelings that they have for you. I see that they're the type of person who isn't afraid to be vulnerable in that sense, and also to kind of just tell you where they want to go next in life, whether that is marriage or children, but they have to get to that point where they don't feel constricted so that they feel safe enough to put themselves and their heart out there again. Next up, we've got perfect moments for you, group 3. So I can see here that you will be experiencing some really great moments with this person, romantically speaking. Maybe you're going on nice vacations and trips and you're spending time in different places where you feel as though you can truly connect with them and where you feel as though the relationship can grow and be strengthened. I see here within dance that spending time partying, celebrating, that is all part of this destined, important romantic relationship in your life. And I do see here that they are an avid dancer and they love to kind of just move their body. Maybe there's even specific dances that they master, that they're good at. And I see here within love that they're a super compassionate type of person. So this destined relationship that is meant to be in your life is one where you can get a lot out of this person by just not pressuring them. This is definitely the type of person where the more pressure that they have, the less it works out. So this relationship may never even come to fruition if you pressure this person early on within the connection, group number 3. So this relationship is really only one that's fated and meant to be in your life if you give them breathing room. If you're texting them all the time, double texting them, calling them, asking them what's up, what they want in the future, and you're not giving them enough time to establish trust and to kind of get used to the thought of being with you, then this will not come to fruition. Next up, we've got the ceremony. So there is this kind of like invocation that needs to happen. There is this ceremony in order to take you on board as a partner, in order to feel as though, okay, they can chill, they can settle down, they don't need to guard their hearts so much, and they can also kind of show you where they're from, okay, like their heritage, their family. They are potentially someone who comes from a wealthy background as well. So I do see here that it takes a little bit of time for them to open up and to want to share all that with you because they've had people in the past who have done them dirty. And of course, they are trying to avoid that. Next up, we've got crystals, which actually resonates really well with the crystal clear card that we had earlier too. And I see here that once they're clear on what they want from you, there's no wavering, there's no cheating, there's no wandering eye. I do see here for you that this is a relationship that can take place in this lifetime where you are the epicenter of attention. You're the epicenter of their attraction, and you're the only one that they want. But this is an optional relationship because it really largely depends on how you act towards them at the start of the connection, group number 3, and whether you're being really needy or scaring them or making them feel as though they would take on a huge responsibility. This person wants you to have your own life together, and they want you to have your own friends, your own hobbies, so they don't feel as though everything depends and relies on them. Because they've been in a relationship in the past where that was the case, where maybe they even had someone who didn't have a job or who quit their job, and it just became like a burden, like a huge responsibility that they didn't want, that they didn't ask for. So reciprocity is important to them. even if they come from a background where they're able to afford nice things, they want to see reciprocity. So if they take you out for dinner, they would truly appreciate if, for example, if you go for drinks or something, if you pay for that, or if you pick up movie tickets at one point and you just show that even if it's something small, you still value them and you're still using your resources in order to show that this relationship matters to you. Let's figure out some of their initials, group number 3, so we can see exactly who they are. So we've got the letter E twice. So E is very important within their name, group number 3. So that can give you a little indication as to who this person is. And I also want to do some numerology and some runes just for some added clarity for you. So let's ask Spirit about this entire situation. What do we need to know about this destined connection? So I'll start off over here for you, group number 3. So let's identify this rune. Here within this rune, we've got Dagaz. Dagaz is a rune that represents a breakthrough or dawn. It's like a daylight type of rune. It is a rune of awareness. And that's one thing that I can see here. This person is super self-aware, and they're also really aware of the fact that there may be an eligible bachelor that a lot of people want for the wrong reasons. I can see here within this rune that we've got Tiwaz, which is the rune of honor, but also justice. Okay, they want that reciprocity, even if they are a person of extreme authority that other people look up to. They want someone who treats them in a manner where they don't feel used, or they don't feel like it's only about what they can do for others. They have that enough in their job, in other aspects of their life. They want a relationship that is built on more than that. So I do also want to see here what type of numerology we have to look out for with this person. Let's ask Spirit about their birth date and when it is that you will meet this person. So let's see what we've got. We've got 5 as well as 9. So we've got the 5th of September when it comes to this person's birthday. Group number 3, I'll just put that right over here for you. Let's see when you're going to meet them, shall we? So we've got the 4th of May. That's one thing that we've got here. So we've got number 4 as well as 5. So 5 also plays a significant role here. We've had the number 5 show up twice. So I want you to know here that when you continuously see the number 5 in form of synchronicities, this person might be closer than you ever expected, group number 3. But again, I just want to reiterate that this relationship is one that is brittle at first and strong as soon as you've been able to gain this person's trust. And then the relationship is on your terms. And I mean the length of it, the depth of it, all of that. They're like putty in your hands once you have gained their trust. So group 3, this is the second destined, fated, important romantic relationship in your life. I'm now going to proceed to clearing the space so we can figure out if there are any more really relevant relationships in your life that you need to know of and that Spirit wants to talk to you about. So I'll speak to you in a moment right after I've cleared and cleansed the space, and we can carry on with your reading. Okay, group number 3, let's see what other destined romantic relationships that there are within this lifetime of yours. So we've got I love you, as well as rest and relaxation being essential. So I can see here that you're definitely going to be told that people love you more than the average person, group number 3. You're the type of person who is going to experience more love, especially in a romantic sense, than most. So you may have a lot more options than others, and that also allows you to kind of take a break whenever you need You're never feeling kind of like you have to go out there and try dating all the time. Like if you need alone time, you will take that. And I can definitely see here with rest and relaxation that you have like this fundamental need to take breaks in between relationships. And you do that. You use that time to heal, to reflect, and to grow as a person. So whenever you enter a relationship, you're not taking past trauma or past patterns that aren't healthy into the next connection. I see here within the heart of the matter that there's more going on than meets the eye when it comes to important romantic relationships in your life. And I definitely want to ask Spirit more about this. Within the heart of the matter, we've also got the number 22, which is a master number of balance and also of kind of juggling multiple things all at once. But I want to see here what's going on that is more than meets the eye. So Spirit, please clarify for us. Please clarify for all of my beautiful souls of group number 3 what exactly this means. So we've got the 8 of Wands. Now in the 8 of Wands, I can see that there are people who are bending over backwards to be with you, group number 3, throughout your entire dating history. But it's important that you even notice that these people are trying to do that, because I do definitely see a bit of an oblivious type of energy here of not really knowing that all this is happening. We also have the King of Pentacles. So I can see here that someone who bends over backwards tirelessly for you is the King of Pentacles, but it's like you don't even notice it. The King of Pentacles is the king of earth signs. Think Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. They're a very loyal and grounded person. This person is older than you. They have established themselves in their life. And I can see here that there was always more between you and this person than meets the eye, or at least that's how they felt. They really loved you. They're the type of person who fell for you hard. And I see that they took very unusual breaks from seeing other people, from dating, from getting involved with other people, just so that they could kind of focus on you. And maybe they never made it clear enough for you to notice, group number 3, but this person was definitely heavily crushing on you, maybe still is, and they're the type of person who wishes that they were with you. I see here within the 10 of Pentacles that it's like they have everything in life, but what they're missing is love. What they're missing is someone to share life and time with. They've got everything that they need in the material sense. They've got money, status, they've got their career sorted, but now they have no one to share it with. And I definitely see this eternal loneliness from this person, and that they're really afraid of being rejected by you, group number 3. Next up, we've got the Lovers. So they are daydreaming all the time about you, group number 3. They wish that you two were a thing, but they're kind of really self-conscious. I see that here in the 8 of Wands, and they kind of feel as though maybe it's not the right time. And this person may be surrounding you in your life as you are in another relationship, as you're in a relationship with someone else. So they can't really encroach on that unless you step out of a relationship that you're in to be with them. But they're like hopelessly obsessed and in love with you, group number 3, and they wish that what you had with someone else is something that they had with you. I see here within multiple streams that this person has lots of different businesses. This person is someone who believes in having multiple streams of income in order to secure themselves financially speaking in the earthly realms, and they really are someone who is independent and gives 0 Fs about what anyone else may say or think. I can see here within the Wild Muse Oracle that this person is fiercely independent. They will walk away from anything that doesn't feel like it's in alignment with them, and they're not going to second guess their actions whatsoever. I see here within your tribe, your vibe, that they have friends who are in a similar situation and position. They have very affluent friends and an affluent surrounding, and they are the type of person who hangs out with winners, with other CEOs, with other managers, with other business people. You get the idea, group number 3. So they don't get out very often into the dating world, or when they do, they can be targeted by people who only want them for what they can do for them. I can see here within Love is in the Air that once again, Spirit and your guides is trying to communicate that this person is hopelessly in love with you, group number 3. This person wishes that you would notice them or give them a chance, but it's just kind of not happening for some reason. I see that love is there. They are really into you, but at the same time, there is a lot more going on beneath the surface. There is a lot that's going on that is preventing this relationship from flourishing, and it definitely seems as though you're just in a different situation. So it's like the right person, wrong time. I see here within the Ace of Pentacles that in order to be with this person, you would have to kind of break up with someone who you're already with at the time. So it seems a little too risky for you because you don't know this person very well. So it's like, do you break up something that's working that you know works just to risk it for this person? So you're definitely kind of on the fence about this. And I see here within the Knight of Swords that ultimately you are kind of going to choose logic over gut feeling or over taking this chance here, because it just seems like it may work out, but at the same time, it doesn't seem fair to give up something that's already working for an affair, or to try something here with someone who is infatuated by you, but who doesn't know you in the day-to-day, who hasn't shown that they'll be there for you through difficult times and easy times and will always kind of have your back, because things are always kind of cute and hot and steamy at the start of relationships, but really knowing how someone is after months and years or even decades, that is priceless. And to risk giving up an existing relationship for someone who is infatuated by you and who wants you, who does seem good on the surface, that can sometimes be a fatal mistake. And I can see that that is definitely how you're seeing this destined, important relationship that doesn't quite come to fruition, but still touches your love life and shows you that you've still got it, group number 3. That doesn't mean that you've got to act on it. So group 3, I'm going to clear the space again, figure out what other destined romantic relationships are here within your lifetime. So please just give me a moment and I'll be right back with you. Okay, group number 3, are you still with me? Because if you are, leave a little red heart emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know as we figure out more details about your love life and all of the fated romantic relationships that are meant to be a part of your life in this earthly realm. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Ooh, the World. So group number 3, your love life is going to ultimately be fulfilling. It's a very positive one. You're going to feel like you've had all of the experiences that you wanted, whether that is marriage, children, stability, affairs, whatever quirky, kinky type of experience you want. I see that you're going to experience it in this lifetime, romantically speaking. Next up, within the 5 of Coins, one thing that I do see here is that when it comes to the material plane, that is an area in which there is a significant amount of growth that you're doing. So no longer feeling like you need certain designer clothes or certain aspects of life to make you worthy. Your identity isn't attached to materialism, and that's where I see that you're changing significantly when it comes to your mindset and your values. And in the 3 of Coins, I actually see that you're more about long-term gratification. You're more about making sure that you're building, that you're in alignment with any potential romantic partners when it comes to finances, and that you don't feel as though you owe anyone anything either. So you'll always have your own independence, financially speaking. That's one thing that I can see here when it comes to the fated romantic connections in your life. So let's see what else that we've got here. Group number 3, we've got the King of Swords as well as the 6 of Cups. So in the King of Swords and the 6 of Cups, I can see a romantic encounter here with someone who has air sign energy. Think Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. They are older than you. The 6 of Cups shows me that they are very interested in you in the long term. I see that here with the Empress as well that we just received. So they love your look. They love love the fact that you bring youthful energy to their life, and they definitely see you as someone with whom they can settle down with and have children with. I can see here within the Six of Wands that this relationship does work out for a little bit, and I do see here that a big part of why this works out is because you're growing so much when it comes to your mindset about finances and material things. The King of Swords really likes that. They like someone who is reasonable, who is down to earth. I see here within the Queen of Wands that this is kind of what they're looking for. They're looking for fiery energy, as the Suit of Wands corresponds to the element of fire. So think Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius energy. So if you've got important placements within your birth chart that are in fire signs, know that that's the reason why this person likes you so much. They like that you're a little sassy and a little feisty. That's one thing that I can see here. And in the Three of Cups, you get along fabulously with this person, group number 3. So this is a fated connection where you appreciate one another's traits. You love that they're intelligent, that they've got authoritative energy, that they know what they want, and they love that you're feisty and sassy. You say what it is that you like, and that you're growing when it comes to your maturity around money and assets. Here within the Knave of Wands, I do see that they like a little bit of both. They like a little bit of nasty feminine type of energy, if you know what I mean. And they also like when you're kind of wearing the pants in some instances too. Group number 3. That's one thing that I see here within the Knave of Wands. And they really feel as though they can rely on you. They feel as though you are a trustworthy person. And that's what makes this connection work. That's what makes things really kind of flow and flourish here. Let's figure out more about what's going on within this connection. We've got trust. We were literally just talking about this, group number 3, so it is confirmed here. Trust is an important part of this relationship, and it is what makes this relationship work. And I can see here that you're also kind of just trusting that this relationship will go wherever it needs to, whether that be actual commitment, whether that be moving in together, whether that just be for a shorter period of time. You're not questioning it too much. I see here within protected that you're safe and supported while you change your career and while you kind of change your mindset about finances during the time of this relationship playing any type of role within your life. So in order to be more in alignment with your new values and feelings about money and finances, you may actually end up switching your job while you are in this relationship. And this person isn't afraid to support you even financially during this time and to be there for you, to protect you while this is going on, as they're here for your growth. They're here for you to kind of take your life to the next level, and they want to be part of helping you with that, and also giving you enough time to rest and chill and just overall be able to enjoy the fact that you're maturing and that you're making your life be in alignment with your values finally. Next up, we've got flow like water. Now, this relationship flows really effortlessly. This is one where also on a sensual level, there's a lot of trust. There's a lot of reciprocity. I see that this is a relationship that's meant to be in your life that will bring you a lot of the things that you crave out of a relationship. So stability, someone listening to you, being there for you. We've got the Six of Swords and the Seven of Swords, which shows me here that this is someone who is evolving with you. This is someone who understands where you're trying to go, and they're not going to get in the way of your growth. They're not going to get in the way of what you're doing next, but they're also not someone who is very attached. That's one thing that I can see from the reading. This is someone who will be with you for as long as it seems to be working out, but at the same time, they're also a kind of very changeable person. So while they may have wanted something one year, that can change drastically the next. I see here within the Ten of Swords that ultimately this relationship isn't a forever one, but it is one that is temporary. It is one that is temporary and good while it lasts. And that's worth something, group number 3. I see here within the Queen of Pentacles that once you've kind of leveled up and you've gained more stability, I see that you may become a little bit of a threat to this person. So while they did genuinely and wholeheartedly support you to create the life that you want, group number 3, once you're actually really thriving and maybe even making more than they are, financially speaking, they get a little bit intimidated. I see here within the 10 of Pentacles that they want to still be kind of like the main breadwinner. They still want to be that person who is in control at the end of the day, even though they want you to thrive too. So when they feel threatened in that sense, that's when the relationship starts to get kind of wonky, and that's when it doesn't work out anymore. That's where I see here in the Page of Wands, they can get a little childish. They can start more arguments than necessary. Okay, so they start to be a little petty, a little childish, because they don't know how to process these emotions of insecurity that show up eventually. So this is a temporary relationship, group number 3. This is not a forever one, but nevertheless, this relationship does bring some sort of value into your life. I want to figure out what their initials are just so you can have even more clarity. Okay, so we've got F, A, as well as E. So these are the letters that we have for their initials and their name, group number 3. And this is part of your destined, fated, important romantic relationships in your life. This is one of those connections that you're going to experience, and that's going to be fleeting. That's going to be ephemeral. That's okay, because if there's one thing that's promised in life, then that's that everything is constantly changing and nothing stays the same forever. I see here within Dignified that you leave this relationship with your dignity, with your pride, feeling strong and feeling like you never compromised on your integrity or your values for this person. So you're leaving this relationship with self-respect and also with them respecting you still. It didn't work out, which is fine, but group number 3, not every relationship is a forever relationship. After all, we can only have one of those. So do know here that this is part of what will happen in your love life, and it is bringing you a lot of valuable lessons and helping you level up. So it's a positive experience overall for you. Now, group 3, these are the readings that I received for you, and I really hope that you enjoyed them and that you found them insightful. Please do leave a little money bag emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading and that you manifest and claim this financial stepping up, even if that means that it makes a person with whom you're with uncomfortable and you have to move on to someone who is more stable when it comes to their self-worth, even if you are making more than them or thriving more financially speaking. So group 3, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful divine time and space with me. Know that I'm sending you so much love wherever you are in this world. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. I mean, if you made it all the way to the end, we clearly vibe with one another. Why not subscribe and make sure you never miss out on another video? And I'll speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your personal Pick a Card Love Tarot reading, where we're discussing all of the destined, fated, important romantic relationships in your life. Wow, that was an intro, wasn't it, group number 4? So you chose the Tarot of Curious Creatures as well as the Lapis Lazuli. This is the gorgeous Lapis Lazuli, which you may have felt drawn towards because of its external appearance, maybe also because of its energy and vibration. Let's figure out what attributes that the Lapis Lazuli carries before we move into your love reading. So Lapis Lazuli opens the third eye and balances the throat chakra. It stimulates enlightenment and enhances dream work and psychic abilities, facilitating spiritual journeying and stimulating personal and spiritual power. This stone quickly releases stress, bringing deep peace. It possesses enormous serenity, and it is the key to spiritual attainment. When it comes to healing, Lapis Lazuli alleviates pain. It is said to help with migraines or headaches, and it alleviates insomnia as well as lowers blood pressure. That is what this stone is said to do, all of my beautiful souls of group number 4. But now let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what fated romantic relationships are here for you in your lifetime. So we'll start off seeing what Spirit has to say. And of course, I will be going through different rounds, cleansing the table, relaying the cards for you so we can figure out all of the messages that are here in regards to your romantic life. So we've got 3 cards that popped right out of the pile for you, group number 4. First up, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles shows me here that a fated romantic connection in your life is meant to bring you some new ideas when it comes to your career, or is going to come into your life right at the start of a new chapter of your career. So think getting out of school and having your first job, and then also entering into a new relationship, or for example, switching jobs if you're a little bit older and you've already established a career, and then meeting someone on this new page when you've turned this new leaf. I see here within the 4 of Wands that what you want out of this relationship is stability. And the 8 of Pentacles shows me here that you don't have any time to play games, nor are you interested in that, because you are really focused on building your career and building longevity when it comes to your professional life. You're focused on accomplishing all the goals that you've set your mind out to, and the only type of person who you're going to be okay with, the only type of relationship that you're going to be okay with during this period of your life is with someone who adds value and who brings peace to your life, not someone who you feel stresses you out. Next up, we've got the Fool 2.0. So this is a situation in which you are going into a fresh start professionally speaking, but somehow you're really not that afraid, you're not that worried, group number 4. That's one thing that I see in the Fool 2.0, because you feel as though the universe will catch you. You feel as though fate and also destiny is on your side, and that your guides are looking out for you. So you're not worried, you're feeling very secure. And next up, we've got the 5 of Swords as well as the 2 of Swords, which shows me here that any type of indecisiveness is being swept away, quite literally. And anyone who is indecisive about you, romantically speaking, is also being swept away. So any types of short-term relationships, any types of short-term affairs, that is not for you, group number 4. And those are not the types of people who you're keeping around energetically, physically, romantically. So let's figure out who it is that you are keeping around during this time, during you having this mindset, romantically speaking. So Spirit, give us some information about this person, please. We've got Ceres as well as the 6th house. And we've got the 12th house. So I see a very nurturing type of person in the 6th and 12th house. The 6th house is the house of your health, your daily routine, sustainability. So someone who wants to build a relationship that can last, that can kind of thrive through the test of time. And the 12th house shows me a very introspective type of person. And I see here within Ceres that they are very nurturing, that you've got someone on your hands here for a fated romantic relationship who is very connected to their divine feminine, even though they may not necessarily show it. You can just tell by the fact that if you have disagreements, rather than arguing with you, this person reflects and says, hey, I really get where you're coming from or what you mean, and they want to find a solution. I see here within Gemini that they're the type of person who has strong Gemini placements. They love to communicate. They love to do things that keep them on their toes. And overall, they are the type of person who uses their words very wisely. As a Gemini, they are ruled by Mercury, and they're the sign of thinking, of curiosity, of super quick, speedy intelligence. And that's what draws you to this person. And that's also why they are an acceptable one during this time of your life. where you're starting some new things in your career, in your professional life. You want to be with someone who is quick, witty, versatile, who is solution oriented and wants to ensure that you can keep thriving in your career, not someone who's taking you away from it. I see here within Taurus that they've also got these dependable, strong earth sign placements in their birth chart as well. Taurus placements are very reasonable. You know that if you've got someone who has Taurus placements, they are stable, they are patient. So this person is like the perfect mixture between fun, sassy, intelligent, and at the same time being reliable and dependable and a stable partner to be with. We've also got some interesting Pisces placements, and I want you to know that these placements are most likely also to be found in their 12th and 6th house. With Pisces, we've got a sensitive side to them. That's where we have that divine feminine, and there's someone who understands how important feelings are. They are ruled by Neptune. They love to dream. They love to kind of use their imagination in order to create. And they're overall also a pretty artsy type of person. They're very gifted when it comes to the arts. We've got that with Taurus and Gemini, which are typically signs that are pretty gifted when it comes to anything that has to do with artistic endeavors. Let's see what else that we've got for this relationship. We've got the 8 of Swords, as well as what I believe to be the Hierophant. Yes, that is indeed what we have here, group number 4. So in the 8 of Swords, I do want you to know here that there is a deeper meaning to this relationship. There's a reason why this relationship is part of your life, group number 4. And I want you to know here within the 8 of Swords that this relationship is meant to teach you about personal power. I see within the Hierophant that stability is something that you can attain by leaning into your personal power, by not allowing anyone to make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about or you don't belong, right? If you often suffer from imposter syndrome, I want you to know that this relationship is the one that kind of helps you to gain a hold of your personal audacity. Now, you may ask yourself, what do I mean by that? Personal audacity. Well, group 4, what I mean by that is, have you ever known someone deeply, so not just on a surface level, and when they're at their job or when they're doing something where they are telling others what to do next, they're kind of like in a leadership position, they have this confidence, even though you know that they're maybe not that qualified, and that's not to be shady. That's just to say that they have more confidence than you may typically have given their track record. Like if you would be in their shoes, you wouldn't have the type of confidence that they have, but they still have it. They still put it out there and people still listen to them. And that is really inspiring you in this romantic connection. They're teaching you how to have audacity, how to kind of in a sense be unafraid to say what it is that you desire, say what it is that you're okay with, tell people what to do, even though you're not always 100% sure if you are the most qualified person in the room. And that is okay, because sometimes it isn't the most qualified person that's needed for a job. It's the person who's the most capable, who's the best with people and communication. But of course, it differs from situation to situation. If there is someone who just talks a good game in a, hospital, for example, that's not the type of person that we want treating us, right? We want the expert in that case. So understand what I mean by this, group number 4, but having confidence in a lot of situations where you otherwise would shy away from, that's what this relationship brings to you. I see here within Confessions that this is not a forever relationship. This is just one of the destined romantic relationships to be in your life. And it's an important one because it's teaching you valuable lessons about self-confidence and also being unafraid to speak up. But here within Confessions, I do see that what ultimately is the demise of this relationship in particular is a confession that this person makes. So maybe they weren't quite honest to you. Maybe they confess to you that they actually don't want to continue being serious, or they're moving to a different part of the world and you don't really see how this is going to continue. So I see here within Murky Waters that there's just something that was unclear, something that wasn't shared with you, some vital information that was left out, and you're not okay with it when it does come out because you maybe had to kind of play detective yourself, or it came out in a way that made you feel as though you were not properly considered. So this relationship definitely does have a expiry date. And I want to see here with these letters, what types of important letters are in their name. So we've got 2 letters that popped right out for you. We've got M as well as Q. So I'll put that over here with the important signs within their zodiac. And I also want to see here how long this relationship is going to last. So let's add some numerology into the game, group number 4. So we've got 2 as well as 13. So one thing that I can see here is that when it comes to this relationship lasting, it is like over a year kind of situation. We've got 13 months, 2 days, 2 weeks, that kind of thing. So I do want you to know here that this relationship is going to last for a good amount of time, for you to learn certain things, for you to experience it. But this is not your forever situation, group number 4. And that's okay, because we all go through different romantic phases and relationships. And that's also why we're here. So we're going to move on to the next important fated romantic relationship in your life, figure out the ins and outs of it, and see exactly how many important romantic relationships are within this lifetime of yours, so you can get all the information that you need. Please allow me to clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be right back with you so we can get into the second spread for you, group number 4. So I'll speak to you in a second. Hello again, group number 4. Did you miss me? Let's figure out what other destined romantic relationships are going to be in your life within this lifetime. So let's see what else we've got, what the dynamic is like, and also how long these relationships are going to last. We've got the Chariot, we've got the King of Cups, as well as the Ace of Cups. Ooh, this is off to a really juicy start, group number 4, because here within the Chariot, I see forward movement with this relationship. And the King of Cups shows us here that this is a water sign that is older and more mature than you. Think Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancerian. They're very much in tune with their emotions. They're loyal. They're the type of person who is a bit mysterious, and they can sometimes be in their feels. And I see here within the Chariot that you're moving forward into a connection and a relationship with them, as the Ace of Cups is a card of the tarot that symbolizes new beginnings, romantically speaking, especially. Furthermore, I want to inform you that the Chariot is actually a card that connects to Cancer. And with us having the King of Cups here, which I mentioned is a water sign who is older than you and very mature, shows us that we're actually narrowing down the sign to being within Cancer, and they are a protector. That is what the Chariot stands for. That is the type of energetic vibe that we get from this card. So I want to move further into this connection to see exactly what this fated romantic relationship is all about that's meant to be in your life. Let's see, we've got tell it like it is. They're a very outspoken and honest person. They will confess their love to you before you confess your feelings to them. That's one thing that we've got here with the King of Cups and the Chariot. Once they are sure about you, they will waste no time to tell you exactly how they feel, and they're not embarrassed. They're not worried about rejection, because they're the type of person who prefers to know that they've given love an honest shot and they tried and they actually put themselves out there, rather than kind of getting defensive or keeping their feelings to themselves just in order to play it cool. That is not who they are whatsoever. Next up, we've got the Queen of Everything. So I do see here that this relationship is going to kind of make you the focal point of their life. I can see here within the Queen of Everything that they want to confide in you. They want to make you like the epicenter of their existence, and they want to give you all of the attention that you could ever want. Whereas in the Fighting Spirit, I can see here that you're most likely going to meet them under circumstances where they feel as though there are other people who are trying to get your attention as well, and they're not afraid to kind of put on that fighting spirit, if you will, group number 4, and fight for your attention and your affection. And they're doing so by not only being honest, but also by trying to impress you in many different ways. That's one thing that I can see here so far. Furthermore, they are also the type of person who wants to take care of you when it comes to finances, when it comes to earthly, mundane mundane things. That's one thing that I see here within the Queen of Everything, as they feel like you should be treated with respect and as someone who gives a lot but is also able to receive. That's what they want to see from you. Next up, we've got the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands is a card of exploration and leadership. So I can see here that this person likes to be in charge. We already spoke about how in the King of Cups, they're most likely older than you. They are pretty mature, and they most likely also lead projects when it comes to their job. They're not used to people telling them what to do. So in the relationship, they definitely like to wear the pants, so to say. Next up, we've got the Ten of Wands, which shows us here that they can sometimes struggle to find that balance between wearing the pants and expressing what it is that they desire and what they want to do and what their plans are for the future, and also kind of giving you room to decide more. We've got the Knight of Coins as well as the Chariot. So we've got the Chariot showing up twice, and we did talk about how there are other people who are wanting your affection and who are trying to kind of get into your good graces, romantically speaking, at the same time of you meeting this person in the King of Cups. And I see that the Knight of Coins is another fast-paced contestant when it comes to your love and your romantic affections. So the Knight of Coins is basically the Knight of Earth signs. So think to yourself, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. They are younger than the King of Cups. They are less experienced. And I do see with the Chariot that they also want your affection. They also kind of want to be in your life in a romantic sense. I see here within the Lovers that this little situation has you feeling like you've got so many options, group number 4, and you actually really do. You've got lots of good options, especially. So the Lovers showing up is a very positive indication for romantic love. It shows mutual respect as well as things working harmoniously, and you having options also means that you're not going to settle for less or settle for something that doesn't truly make you happy. I want to add some letters to these people's names so we can figure out exactly who they are, and maybe it can give you an indication as to whether you've kind of already met them. Okay, so here we've got Q as well as M for the King of Cups. Let's see what we have for the Knight of Coins spirit. Let's figure out what this person's initials are like. So we've got I for 1 as well as E. Group number 4, we've got some clarification here, but I want to move further into the reading to figure out more about these connections and what the dynamic is like. We've kind of spoke about it on a little bit more of a vibes level. Let's figure out some cold hard facts. I see here within the cave, the sanctuary, that this person wants to live with you, and you may actually end up living with this King of Cups person at one point in time. I see here within Gaia that nurturing the home and just the home environment and home life is very important to them. But we did talk about how they had Cancerian energy, so that makes a lot of sense because Cancer is a sign that is the protector of the home and those intimate relationships. Next, we've got the spring equinox as well as the full moon. So here in connectivity to the Knight of Coins, which I definitely see you kind of going through a phase of maybe thinking of being with the Knight of Coins, but ultimately the King of Cups is really where it's at for you, group number 4. But just on a little side note here, I see here within the Knight of Coins that they would have been the perfect person at a different point in your life, but you've kind of outgrown their situation. You've kind of outgrown who they are as a person. Maybe in the past you would have tolerated some of the shenanigans of the Knight of Coins, but I can see that you've moved past that, and therefore you want a more mature, stable relationship here with the King of Cups, and that's exactly why they're coming into your life and why you end up choosing this destined, important, romantic relationship to be your forever relationship. Next up, we've got study as well as school. Okay, so I see here that Reading, research, and education is what not only helps you gain confidence and clarity about your career, but it is also a part of this destined romantic relationship in your life. So you never cease to learn with this person. I see here within school that you may even go back to school while you're with this King of Cups person, because you have the luxury and the opportunity to consider that and to do that, because there is stability in the home, and that option is there for you to further your education and do more studying. And I do definitely see that that is one of your most attractive traits, the fact that you're the type of person who knows a lot about different subjects. You may not be an expert at everything, but you have a lot of interesting viewpoints and aspects about you and the world. Next up, we've got flowers. So in flowers, I can see that this is an important part of your sanctuary, of your cave, group number 4. Having it decked out with beautiful flowers and just a nice scent that is inviting and warm and calming. That's one thing that I can see here within this relationship. And we've also got yoga. So you may feel very passionate about yoga with this person here within the King of Cups. You may feel really passionate about getting in tune with your body, with your breath work, with your chakras. They're the type of person who sees that yoga is something that goes beyond just exercising. It is something that you can do in day-to-day situations, in day-to-day life. And I definitely see a lot of bonding going on here with the King of Cups. So this is a very interesting relationship. I want to just see if Spirit has any more information about this relationship, maybe about when it's taking place, if there's any more commitment in any sense. Let's see what we've got. We've got the Queen of Pentacles as well as the Strength card. Okay, so in the Queen of Pentacles, I do see here that we have this energy that's kind of nurturing and down to earth and very resourceful. And I see within the Strength card that we've got patience, compassion, and self-control. So this is a very interesting combination here, because I do see that they're the type of person who is really caring, but they also don't want to rush you into any situation. So there may be more commitment available with the King of Cups, but it's kind of really up to you, group number 4. And by more commitment, I mean getting engaged, getting married, children, those types of commitments. That's one thing that I can see here in connectivity with the King of Cups and the Strength card and the Queen of Pentacles. But they don't want to be pushy. That's their thing. They don't want to alienate you. They don't want you to feel as though you have to. They want you to want to. So this is a relationship with a lot of potential, but you are in control of this relationship 100%, group number 4. So this is all the info that we've got from Spirit on this connection with this water sign. And I do want you to know here that this is a very favorable outcome where you can steer what direction or what kind of depth that this relationship goes into further down the line. So this really shows that everything is kind of in your control and under your power, group number 4. So this is the next important fated romantic relationship in your life. I will once again clear the space out. I will cleanse the space for you, and then we'll see what other important romantic relationships are going to be a part of your life. This is definitely one in your adult life that we have right here, all of my beautiful souls of group number 4. So let's figure out if there are more connections from maybe your childhood, maybe there are some that are from the midpoint of your life or later in life. Maybe we have a connection that you absolutely did not expect that we have yet to delve into. So let's figure that out. Give me a little moment to cleanse the space and I'll be right back. Okay, group number 4, let's see what other connections might be here, romantically speaking, that are important and significant within this lifetime of yours. So let's see, we've got the trine sextile. So I want you to know here within the trine, this is 120 degrees, and this is all about harmony and ease. So whatever we're talking about now, romantically speaking, is filled with relaxation, harmony, and ease. So we're just getting really chill vibes from whatever is coming next when it comes to your romantic life within this part of your reading. We've also got the 12th house. Now the 12th house is the house of introspection. The 12th house is by default ruled by Pisces, and it is the house of dreaming. It is the house of the unconscious part. And I do see here within the trine sextile and the 12th house that we have a very seamless type of relationship when it comes to dreams and aspirations here. I can see with this symbiosis that you nurture one person to accomplish their dreams and they do the same thing for you. That's the type of energy that we're getting here so far within this reading. Next up, we've got the 4th house. So your home life is really important here. We have yet to find out what is going on, whether this is a relationship, whether this is just something that you're focusing on personally or even in situationships. But the 4th house is ruled by Cancer, and it is a house of the home, family, as well as your past as well. We did just talk about the King of Cups in your previous reading, in the previous spread. So this is kind of showing up again, right? Because we had the King of Cups and we identified them as having Cancerian type of energy. Here we've got the 4th house, which by default is ruled by Cancer. Next up, we've got progressions. So it seems as though we are actually given a continuation of the reading we were just in, group number 4. So the reading we were just in kind of ended on the note of it being completely up to you where the connection goes. But I can see here that your guides and the universe wants to talk a little bit more about that connection and give you a little bit more info and insight as to where this may end up leading you on your romantic path. So let's kind of carry on with the King of Cups in mind and understanding that this is a continuation of that spread with that person. So we've got sync with the moon. I can see here that being ruled by the moon, right, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, means that communication is important, but also habit patterns. So I do see here that you share the same habit patterns with this person, and I can see that alone time, home time, chill time, that is really important within this relationship. They like to give you your space, and on a deep emotional level, you two are very similar. I also see here within massage that spa days and just giving one another some attention physically, that isn't uncommon. That's actually part of your love language with this person, and just overall being in a relationship where physical touch is a focal point is one thing that I can see here with the King of Cups person that we were talking about earlier. Next up, we've got being in touch with your body. So you're not necessarily in a relationship where you constantly need to be on the go or working out or anything like that, but healthy eating, healthy habits, as well as going on walks with one another, doing some mild, moderate exercising where you give each other little massages if you're sore when you're back from the exercise that you completed or the hike that you did. That's the type of vibe that we're getting here. I do also see within sacrifices that there will be some parts of this relationship that make you feel as though you had to leave your old life behind. So if you used to do a lot of things alone, know that doing things with this person very frequently is definitely going to make you feel as though in a way you sacrifice a little bit of independence, and sometimes it can feel as though it is a lot for you because you're definitely someone who needs time for introspection, but you can just ask this person for more of that. Next up, we've got the Magician. So in the Magician, we have a card of the Major Arcana, which which is ruled by Mercury by default, which is the planet of communication. The Magician also corresponds to the number 1. So this is a tarot card that communicates action, that communicates that things are happening here, and that there's never really a dull moment within this relationship with this person. We also have the Hermit, which shows that there are a lot of inside jokes with this person. This relationship is a very private one. The Hermit corresponds to the number 9, and it is a number of solitude. The Hermit shows, again, introspection, that you two are really good at self-reflection and figuring out whether you're on the right path when you're, for example, in an argument, or whether the ego has taken over. And I see here within the Queen of Pills reversed that when it comes to finances and when it comes to the material realm, you two do sometimes have different ideas about what you want to do in the earthly realms. But again, like we spoke about within the Hermit, you kind of figure things out as you go, and you're both not opposed to just being honest when maybe your ego has taken over and maybe you've become a little bit stubborn. I see here within You're on the Right Path that this is actually the right relationship for you. If you're in it for the long run, this relationship has soulmate and twin flame potential. And I see here within options that yes, there are other options, but at the same time, you have to weigh whether those options are really worth not being with this person, because this is a really awesome person for you to be with. I see here within Healer that they potentially actually work in the medical field. They may be a doctor, a surgeon, they may be a nurse, for example. And I do see here within Healer that the core of their work is to help others, is to heal others in some way, shape, or form. And it makes a lot of sense because they are super in tune with their sensitive side. As we spoke about, there's a lot of this water sign Cancerian energy, which is very in tune with feelings, with emotions, with everything going on in the inner world. And that's also why they really thrive in this career in particular. I see here within Strength that everything that they've been through, and they've had a difficult childhood, group number 4, that has made them stronger. That has shaped them into the type of loyal, fierce, assertive person that they are today. And I do also see here within Strength that this is part of the attraction when it comes to this person. And within Music, I see here that they love to create music in their free time. They love to make music just a part of their day-to-day life, which is a little bit of a polar opposite of what they do for actual work. But nevertheless, it's a really nice addition into this relationship and this dynamic because it shows a different side of them. So group number 4, this is the extra info that you were supposed to receive. So it really does seem as though your guides are trying to sell you on this person and tell you to definitely take a chance when this person comes up. So I will clear the space now, and then we can move into more of the destined romantic relationships in your life and figure out what other important love messages are here within your tarot reading. Bear with me, group number 4. I'll be right back with you. Okay, group number 4, let's see if there are any other important romantic relationships that your guides want to talk to you about and want to highlight when it comes to relationships that you're having within this lifetime. So I can see here within the Fool that we're talking about a completely new beginning here. And I see here within the High Priestess that this new beginning is based on your cycles. This is based on things that feel right internally for you, and being based on your cycles and having this little kind of hatchling in the Fool definitely shows us here that this is maybe a relationship where a child is involved, right? Where your cycles are involved, whether you are male or female. In order for children to happen, there will have to be some sort of female reproductive cycle that's involved either way, no matter who you identify as or what your preference is centrally. But but I see a complete new beginning here that has to do with children. And the Ten of Cups shows me that that is the ultimate fulfillment, group number 4. Now, you may have not even expected this, especially if you're kind of on the fence about children, but I can see here that there is definitely a romantic, fated relationship that is important in your life that involves having children. Let's actually use some numerology to figure out how many children we're speaking of here, shall we? So Spirit, let us know how many kids we're talking about when it comes to group number 4. Okay, we're talking 4 here. That is not the smallest number, group number 4, but I definitely see that the number 4 kind of resonates with you. I mean, you also did pick group number 4, so you may actually be surprised at how open you are once this entire situation starts that has to do with children, offspring, building a family. I can definitely see here that hesitation kind of subsides once you get used to this lifestyle a little more. And also some children may come later in life. Some children may just be there because you are taking care of them, you're fostering them, you are paying special attention to them that they couldn't get elsewhere. I see here, oh, group number 4, we've got the King of Cups for you again. There is really just one main person that is meant to be with you, and that is the King of Cups. He keeps popping up. We just can't get rid of him, group number 4. And I'm saying him because, you know, we've got the king, but no matter who you identify as, this is about the personality traits. It's not about gender, but we can't get rid of the King of Cups. That's just a fact. So this person is the one for you, group number 4. Your guides are not letting up when it comes to this, and there's really no other significant romantic relationships in your life. And it seems like there's no affairs, there's nothing short-lived. It's really just what we spoke about so far, and the King of Cups having the biggest, most significant influence to the point that other relationships that you may have had, they're not even showing up here. They're not even being located within your reading. And the Ace of Cups, again, this is the start of a new romantic relationship. The Ace of Cups is a very favorable card if you're looking to start a new romance, if you're looking for love to come into your life. So the King of Cups and the Ace of Cups just shows us here that this connection is fated. It's destined to be part of your life. You're destined to create a family with this person and to start a relationship with them sooner rather than later. I see here within the Eight of Wands that any other connections that may be there are simply going to disintegrate. The Eight of Wands shows me here that those will struggle. The conclusion is very quickly going to be that the King of Cups is the one for you, and there's no point in shopping around anymore. Once you know, group number 4. Once you've found the one, you know that it's time to settle, it's time for you to chill, it's time for you to enjoy this relationship and work on it, because that's exactly what a relationship is, right? It's work, it's compromise, it's two people constantly communicating with one another. But I see here with an endless serendipity that this is exactly what this relationship is meant to bring into your life. Lots of great energy, lots of serendipity, which is just unexpected goodness, as well as you being able to be authentic and being in a really vulnerable place, such as having children. That is a time where you have no other choice than to be authentic. You can't put on a mask. You can't kind of pretend to be something that you're not. But I see here that that is perfect. Okay, there's nothing more perfect than building a future and a family with this person. There is nothing that makes you more happy than being with this person, group number 4. And no matter how tough the situation or what goes on that was unexpected, you're able to overcome it with this person, and your relationship can withstand any type of troubles or downfalls or difficulties. So when it comes to commitment level, I wouldn't be surprised if there is marriage in the works early on and commitment that you are both in agreement of. They will not push you to do something that you don't want to do, group number 4. But again, the power lies within your hands, and this person is just so smitten by you. This person is absolutely infatuated with who you are internally and externally. I mean, they didn't leave us alone this entire reading, group number 4. So if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. This is the most significant fated romantic relationship in your life that kind of outshines all the other ones to the point that they didn't even show up within your reading. So group number 4, we are going to end your prediction here because there's really nothing else that the universe wants to communicate. We keep getting these repeat messages about the same person, about the same relationship, so we're not going to dig for something that isn't there. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful. Leave a little crab emoji below in the comment section if you made it all the way through to the end and you're excited about this reading, you received it. That way you can let me and others know that you were part of group number 4. So thank you for being here, all of my beautiful earth angels. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you vibed with this reading. Know that I'm sending you so much unconditional love wherever you are on this planet, and I'll speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions.